106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Hey guys, it's Wednesday, January 15th. This is Gabe Eltaeb. This is Double Impact. It's a great one tonight. Can you guys hear me? Because I couldn't hear the opening song at all, and I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But let me bring in my co-host, the great, the amazing, the Midnight Lover himself. Here he is. It's Jericho Green.
Yeah, boy.
I can hear you loud and clear, baby. I wonder why I couldn't hear that intro music. How very, very strange.
I don't know. I heard it. Sounded great. Looked great.
I watched Street Fighter for the second time in my life, the 1994 masterpiece. For the second time in my life, I watched it on double speed. I rented it on YouTube so I could watch it on double speed, and it was twice as good.
Wow, masterpiece. We're just using that word very loosely these days because that movie was fucking awful.
One of the worst movies.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, the casting was horrible. Yeah, I'd definitely say it's one of the worst. Again, you have to look at it from the budget. It had a $35 million budget. So it's not like a cheap, shitty movie. I mean, I guess it's not a huge budget, but $35 million, that's a lot. And for what they put on screen was awful. The casting was awful. I mean, even Van Damme. I mean, 94, this is the height of Van Damme. He's still pretty big. This is before double team. I think this would have even been before sudden death. Right. So this is, Van Damme, he's pretty untouchable at this point. And I think he passed up Mortal Kombat to do this movie. Mortal Kombat wasn't much better, but okay, it's okay, you have Van Damme, but maybe not put him as the all-American American flag tattooed on his bicep Guile.
Now let's slow our roll for 1 second here.
Okay.
This show is called Double Impact.
Mm-hmm.
And I unironically love Jean-Claude Van Damme. He provided me so much entertainment as a teen, as a middle schooler and high schooler. Mm-hmm. This is a terrible movie, I'll be honest, but I will not tolerate Van Damme slander.
No. What I'm saying is have him in the movie. Great. That's a good draw. It's smart to get Van Damme, but to have him as the all-American, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, American flag tattooed on his bicep, U.S. Air Force, active duty member Guile.
Remember, he was the leader of like a proxy for the UN in this. He was the leader of the AN. It was like the Allied Network or the
but he was very, very American. He has he had the American flag on his uniform, and he had the tattoo on his bicep. So he's all for Team America, and as am I.
Yeah.
But man,
well, he was supposed to be Commander Guile or whatever the hell it was. So you know,
Kylie Minogue's in there. Shout out to Kylie Minogue.
She's a bit all right. She's a bit all right. That Kylie Minogue.
And just the casting was horrible. Ken, you couldn't have got a white dude with some muscles who can do karate. That guy was like, you could see they were heavy on Ryu because he actually had some martial arts training. So he was doing most of the really tricky shit, the real good stuff. Anything more than knees to the face or punches to the face, and that was Ken. But anything more difficult than that was Ryu. And it was just fucking awful. What's his name?
But it is in the tradition of Stone Cold and other movies like that. It's so bad, it's good. I loved watching it. I wouldn't watch it again anytime soon. But the dialogue is so stupid and ridiculous. There's a point when they're going to attack Bison's, Shadaloo temple base in the jungle. And Van Damme, as the UN commander, is like, the army will attack from the north, and I'll come in the stealth boat alone from the south. And one guy says, you'd have to be insane to do that. He said, well, it's good because Bison has driven me crazy. So,
driven me crazy. Oh, shit was. Who was that guy? He had too many lines. His role was too prominent in that movie. Who the fuck was that Asian dude with the terrible English accent? His English was awful. Oh my goodness, that movie.
I have no idea. Let me welcome in people here. We'll get back to Street Fighter the movie. 31 years young, Street Fighter the movie. Yep. Michael Coulter, Chrome, Tony C from Down Under. Heather from Lake Havasu, not Phoenix. Oh, man, I get that backwards. Joe Musashi, haven't seen you in a while, brother. Good to see you. Hunter Bautista, not to be confused with the pardoned Hunter Biden. Captain Haruno is back. Thank you very much. And it's good to see everyone coming in here. Hit the like, hit the share. Alpha Proto. I love this movie as a kid. And I do get the feeling this movie was for kids to a degree, even though they dropped some pretty good swear words like son of a bitch and stuff like this. A little too much for kids.
What's his name? Steve D'Souza or whatever. D'Souza is the guy who wrote and directed it. I think he also did Tango and Cash. So he has some shitty
Tango
movies.
And Cash. I don't like it.
He has some shitty movies under his belt. I think it's I'm not sure on the first name, but the last name is definitely D'Souza. And he wrote and directed and just wrote some pretty shitty movies throughout the 90s. So
I want to show everyone this real quick. This is my iPad. And I'm going to put it up on the screen digitally so you don't have to worry about. Oh, this was a present I made for my granddaughter for her birthday. She loves Tom and Jerry, so I drew her those, printed them out, and wrote some stuff. And you draw on it with a why did I disappear like that?
I don't know. You're gone, man. You're gone. Maybe you went down under.
My camera source. Hold on. There you go. Okay, am I here? I'm gonna have to stop my virtual camera and restart it.
No, you're not there.
Okay, I'm going to stop OBS. Hold on. I'll be back. Sorry, there's a technical difficulty.
So
I'll be back. Can you hear me, though?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I'm running a virtual camera through OBS, and it did not like what I was doing. It really doesn't like what I'm doing here.
It doesn't.
Let me see. Why is this doing this all of a sudden? And it switched cameras on its own, which is very strange.
It becomes self-aware.
It's because okay. Well, let's just try it. Oh my goodness, why right now when I was trying to freaking show you something? Audio, camera. Let's see. OBS virtual camera. So a virtual camera is when you tell a piece of software, "Hey, you're a camera." And then I'm feeding it into YouTube. So that literally, I didn't touch any. That's confounding when computers do that. You don't touch anything, and it just does something like this on its own. Isn't it crazy?
Does what the fuck it wants.
I'll just create a new virtual camera. What do you think of that, you jackass? It's gonna take me a minute though. Sorry.
Take that, machine.
You wanna vamp for me while I'm creating a new virtual camera?
Sure. So what's this fucking guy's name? Hold on. Steven D'Souza. That's his name. It was Steven. Okay, so maybe he's acted in some of his movies because he definitely looks familiar. Yeah, he's been in some movies. So let's see this asshole's filmography, what he's responsible for. Okay. 48 Hours. Okay, that was a good one. Commando. Hey, all right.
We love Commando. Never seen 48 Hours.
Oh, no.
Is that good?
Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. So he wrote Commando. Mark Lester directed it. Jumpin' Jack Flash. I remember Penny Marshall directed that one, but he wrote it. That was when the one where Whoopi Goldberg is a jewelry thief. The Running Man. Okay, now we're getting back into horse shit. Now we're back into horse shit land because The Running Man was awful. He used to be Sub-Zero. Now he's Plain Zero. Ooh, very poignant writing there, buddy. But then he brings us out of the landfill with Die Hard. He wrote Die Hard.
Did he write Die Hard?
Yep, and Die Hard 2. So then now we're back in shit. Hudson Hawk, we're still in shit. Ricochet, shit. That was probably Denzel Washington's worst movie with John Lithgow. Then we come almost.
Why does John Lithgow like he might be a professor or something weird?
Dude, John Lithgow is in everything. Hey, shout out to Harry and the Hendersons. Great in Harry and the Hendersons. Then we kind of bring our heads up out of the water just a little bit though, with the Flintstones, 1994, John Goodman, Halle Berry. But then we go deep back into shit with Beverly Hills Cop 3, horrible. Street Fighter, we're on that one right now. Then we come back partway out of the muck with Judge Dredd, Sylvester Stallone, Rob Schneider, Turbulence, that was with Ray Liotta. Knockoff, okay. We're coming out. Tomb Raider, now we're back in it. And then Blast, whatever that was.
What is Blast?
It doesn't say Finger Blast. It just says Blast. So I'm not sure. Then he wrote some TV stuff. Knight Rider, okay. Tales from the Crypt. So, I mean, he had a very up and down career. Steven D'Souza, director and writer of what we're in the middle of right now. Street Fighter.
Well, better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's directed some and written and or directed some great movies, and he's put his fingerprints on some dog shit. Oof. Die Hard 2? Come on. But then you get Die Hard out of him. So, Hudson Hawk, that was terrible. That was what's his name? Damn it. Bruce Willis and not Ray Liotta, Danny Aiello. They're two cat burglars, and it was like a musical. They're like singing and stuff. He like wrote some of the songs. It's like a musical. It was really bad.
Do you think if you were doing crimes, you would sing your evil deeds? Would you do that?
Dude, they're like singing out loud, full-throated while they're robbing like a jewelry store or something, or an art museum or some shit like that. No, I wouldn't. And when you're a cat burglar, cats are usually known for, they're quiet, their little pads on their little feet. They're very stealthy, quiet, if you will, silent, if you're going to be breaking into something. But no, these guys are like belting out fucking show tunes while they're trying to steal shit. Ridiculous. Beverly Hills Cop 3. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Jumping Jack Flash, that wasn't that good either, but I haven't seen it in a while. Tomb Raider, that was terrible. The sequel. Fucking Steven D'Souza. You asshole. You asshole. But, hey, it's 1994. Can't expect a lot from 1994. We were still in, those neon colors. But 1994 was still, it was a great year. Great year. Loved it. Where were you guys in 1994? I was a freshman in high school. What do you think of that? Tell me, chat. Where the fuck were you in 1994? I know we got some youngins in here too. You guys probably weren't even born in 1994. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat. Alpha Proto says 4th grade. Damn, way to make me feel Old as shit. I was in 4th grade in 1989. Captain Bruno, there's one of you fucking youngsters. Says he was 4. Jeez Louise. Joe Musashi, 13. So we're about the same age. Jim Bob says, I want to say I was in 8th grade. So yeah, we're around, you, Joe, and I, we're around the same age, 40. I just turned 44. So you guys are what, 43? Something like that, 42, some shit. Who else? Where were you in 19 or what were you doing in 1994? Were you a fucking kid? Were you already an adult doing crazy shit? But yeah, you guys are youngsters. Damn, Captain Bruno said I was 4. Damn. Yeah, Jim Bob, 43. Yeah, we're around there. It was cool. The 90s were great. I love the 90s. I know we sound, like some old curmudgeons or something, but the 80s and 90s truly were not only like literally, but like figuratively, just a different time, a great time. None of the Miser says I like Hudson Hawk too. I think it's funny. It's been years since I've seen Hudson Hawk. I think it's been like we rented it when it came out. Like it's been that long since I've seen Hudson Hawk. But I've heard it talked about on other podcasts and shit, and I remember, yeah, that movie was pretty shitty. Pretty shitty. None the Miser, you're sophomore. Okay, so yeah, you're a year older than me. Tony C, night clubbing. Oh, what are you getting into? You're getting some crazy shit, weren't you? Oh, you lived in Maine, Jim. All right. Heather says 80s were the shit. They were. I've said this many times. I wish that I was born in 1980. I wish that I were born in 1970. So that way I could be a teenager in the 80s. Like, 13 in 1983, 84, like all your formative years, all your adolescence. That time would have been awesome. That was a great time. Yeah, None of the Miser says it's funny. The jokes are kind of adult. Yeah, didn't they have like somebody got their head cut off or some shit? Like there's some stuff in there where like, damn, this is a comedy. Joe says I was living in New York. Most weekends I usually go to the arcades. The arcades were the shit. I still go to arcades. If we go somewhere and there is an arcade, I shouldn't say I go there. But if we go like my son's friends having a birthday, or something like that, usually at some kind of trampoline place or something like that where there's an arcade, I'll definitely get down. I'll definitely drop 10, 20 bucks in there. Michael Coulter says he was 4 too. Damn, you guys are fucking youngsters. Heather says she's the oldest, graduated in 90. Oh, that would have been cool too. That's perfect. It's perfect. Your adolescents were in the 80s. It's perfect. So when all those movies, all those great movies that we grew up loving, The Lost Boys and all that kind of shit. So you probably went saw that in the theater. I bet that was a shit too. You grew up watching Ninja Scroll. Yeah, that's one of the best. That's like the, Akira, Ninja Scroll, Fist of the North Star, all those kinds. Like if you're going to say that you watch anime or you're a fan of it, you have to know. It's like knowing your history. Those are some of the greatest movies, or Japanimation, because people still say that, anime, whatever. Some of the greatest Japanese cartoons ever. There's one chick in Ninja Scroll. So there's this dude, and he gets hired to help this village, and these bad guys that he comes across that are trying to stop him. This is like this bad gang, and each member of that gang has either a weapon that they're really good with, or a power. Like one of the guys, he's made out of rock. One of the bad guys, but I guess she's a good guy. Gabe says he's fixing the issues, restarting his computer. But one of the, I guess, good guys, her power is if you touch her skin, you can die. So the guy made out of rock, he's a bad guy, so he's a piece of shit. And he's he's sexually assaulting her, and she's letting him because she knows, and he doesn't know, that if you touch her skin, she's poisonous. So he's, whatever, touching her, and then he gets fucked up. So funny. He got fucked up bad. I can't remember what's the main character's name in that movie, in that cartoon. That shit is so cool. Alpha Pro says, I've seen a few documentaries on Street Fighter. They sent the first draft to the ratings board and got an R rating. They edited it down to get a G. So they added a shit in post for PG-13. Jubei, that's right, Jubei. And the dude that he fights at the end, is it Jima? I think Jima is the guy's name who he fights at the end. In the what is it, a ship? Where are they? Because there's somewhere that's catching on fire and there's a bunch of gold there and the gold starts melting and shit. Yeah, Jima. That's the bad guy's name. He's a shit. He's like half metal and shit. Oh man. Ninja Scroll's the best. That's probably my favorite Japanime cartoon is Ninja Scroll. Because the Jubei, the main character, he's badass with a sword. Then you got the little, his the gang or whatever, not the gang, but the group that's with him, the good guys, and then the bad guy group, they're hella crazy too, and they got a bunch of ninjas after them. It's the shit. Love that movie. Jim out, that motherfucker was bad too. He's a badass. He fucks Jubei up at the end. Fucks him up real bad. Yeah, Vampire Hunter, that's another one. I would say Crying Freeman, that's another good one. This guy that's forced to be an assassin, and every time he kills somebody, he cries. That's why they call him Crying Freeman. But like he owes this bad guy, and the bad guy says, you have to do X amount of assassinations, and then I'll release you from your obligation. Jim Bob, thanks. He's out of here. Peace, man. Yeah, Alpha Pro says, I love how in those old anime when someone is evil, they are unredeemable. So it's awesome seeing them get what's coming to them. Yeah, now you have there's a lot of ambiguity, when it comes to the things that they're making now, where the bad guy is not bad. Like, the bad guys aren't bad and the good guys aren't good. It's this mixed, murky. You ever been at a lake or something, and when the water's nice and calm, it's clear, you can see to the bottom. But when you step in it, you step in that clay at the bottom, it makes a cloud, and now the water's all cloudy and murky. That's kind of what it is now. It's murky. It's not really clear. The good guys are really good, and the bad guys are really bad. So when the bad guys get what they deserve, you're like, fuck yeah, those guys are pieces of shit. I don't want to understand them and know their plight, where they came from. What's their story? Are they living their truth? What happened to them? I don't care. We're watching this movie. You're a bad guy. You're terrible. You're going to get fucked up in the end. Thank you very much. Yeah, right. That's his name? He's the rock guy. Yeah, that dude's a piece of shit. That dude's a piece of shit. He got what he deserved, too. But that scene where they're hopping through the trees, because the rock guy, he has this weapon where it has a grip in the middle, and then the two sides are these huge blades. Like, I don't know, they probably got to be like 6 foot long each. Like, it's just because he's huge too. It's a huge rock guy, probably 10 feet tall. So his weapon's hella tall too. And when he throws it, like it's like a big blade, like a big saw blade going through there, and it cuts through everything. And there's a scene where they're fighting in these trees in the forest, and they keep jumping from tree to tree. And his fucking that sword thing, or I don't know what it's called, that he throws fucking like cuts trees down and shit. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, anyway, Street Fighter 2, man. Oh, what a piece of shit that movie is. Oh, it's so bad. Gabe's still fixing his computer. So Street Fighter starts off with they're kind of setting the scene. You know, they're giving you the clips of, you know, the news, and you hear the news in the background. You know, yesterday in the land, there's Gabe.
What the fuck, dude? I stream, I watch YouTube, I watch Amazon, all the. As soon as we go live, I've noticed this happen. What is that, dude?
You getting
I signed
shadow
up for
banned
Starlink,
already.
Elon Musk Starlink, but they're sold out in San Diego. Like they can't take any more customers, so I'm on a waiting list. So I got it for a Christmas gift, Starlink, because Spectrum Internet performs the way you guys just saw. So
Fuck you, Spectrum. Spectrum's on the Spectrum.
Oh, they're so fucking stupid. Well,
That's why they call it Spectrum, because everybody that works there is on the Spectrum.
Before we're so fucking rudely interrupted. Thanks for holding it down, my man. I wanted to show everyone this. If anyone is still here putting up with this. Let's put this on here. Hang on. I wanted to put my iPad up here. Now does it not want to do the iPad again? Yes.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're not. This all worked before we went on the air. Do you know that? All of it. I just don't even understand this. I don't even understand this. There! Fucking shit. Gosh damn. I just wanted to show you guys this. Sorry, I'll get in a better mood right now.
Right.
Would you like to see? Would you like to see the unstoppable Tyrus from a man who was grouchy 30 seconds ago, but has decided that attitude is everything? So I'm going to smile and be grateful about life.
Yep.
Would you like to see a little bit of it?
I want nothing more.
All right. I'm going to make myself bigger. You're still there. Give me commentary, Jericho. What do you think here?
This is great. I love the, what is that? Like, are those like globules, almost like a lava lamp kind of effect right there?
They're like ashes and sparks.
Yeah, that shit looks cool.
It's we call it Kirby Crackle in the business. It was named after Jack Kirby. But if you want to get the unstoppable Tyrus, you're gonna have to wait until the summertime because I'm drawing it every day. I'm the inker, my buddy Akion's the penciler, and I was the writer, and we're having a grand old time. And I got a great colorist, like a 30-year veteran of comics, working on the biggest stuff you ever heard of. But you're gonna love this. But yeah, this is what I've been working on. I'm not gonna spoil it all. Where's another great one? There's some target practice in this. I won't say what it was about, what was going on.
Nice. Like that.
But, yeah, we're down at the range. We're down range at somebody's house.
That.
You know, and see, I even got the slide going back on the Glock 17.
Nice.
You see.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's been really good. I'm up to page 20, and it turns out you can finish comic books faster than 5 years if you're diligent and hardworking. You don't have to take that long to do it.
What?
Turns out, yeah, believe it or not. Some people will tell you differently. This was some of today's page here. Like all comic books, you have science experiments gone wrong. This poor orangutan is he's not feeling good at what they were doing to him here. But yeah, this is fantastic. This is really fun stuff to work on. You're going to love it.
Well, who else are we supposed to test things on to know if they're safe for humans?
Right. Absolutely.
So grab those monkeys, dude. Hook them up.
Absolutely. And this one here, I already shared this panel out. You get the power and the strength and all that. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Oh,
you guys his likeness
Captain,
really well
Captain
too.
Haruno noticed what I called the fight in the wrestling scene. It was called Summer Blast. Because we can't say SummerSlam. No. We can't use the WWE logo. This is mega wrestling. This is different.
Yeah,
totally different. But this book is not totally about wrestling. This book is about mutants and superheroes and ancient civilizations and prophecies and stuff like that. It's really awesome. If you love Indiana Jones and you love superheroes and Ninja Turtles, you're going to absolutely love this book because that's kind of what we're doing here. We're having a really, really fun time. So, and I was wondering, I wanted to ask people, would you want me to live stream myself drawing the book? Would you want me to do that ever? Because now that I figured out how to hook my iPad to my computer and only crash it for 15 minutes afterwards, then I think I'll show you real quick. I'll show you a little bit of how this works. Hold on. Let me open this. Here's tomorrow's page that I'm going to work on. Page 21. So these are the pencils here. and then I do the inks on top of them. Hold on, I'll bring it up on the screen. But first, I want to do something. Okay, I'll bring it back up. You tell me what you think. Would you find this interesting at all to watch or no? Like watching me draw this?
Only if you refer to it as drawing.
Drawing? I'm going to be drawing a picture for you. We'll scoot this over here. And then okay, so this is like the pencil stuff here. And then I grab you see me waving this pencil down at the bottom of the screen. I wave that around in the air, say the magic word, and then I draw it. Watch this. So then there's this guy wearing this mask, and I would, I would ink it. So I'm going to do the tight drawing on top of his pencils. So I use most of what he's penciled, but I clean it up and I alter things if I need to, stuff like that. But yeah, this is basically how you're going to do this stuff. And this is a pivotal scene in the book here. But yeah, and these are really rough. I'm just showing you how the technology works. This is not how I would ink a book. I would ink it much nicer than this. But that's basically how the inking works there. And I can just undo all that. But if you guys want live streams of that stuff, I would love to do it and show you suckers how it's done.
Do it.
As they say on the street. One of my street friends told me that. He said, you got to show these suckers how it's done. So I don't know. I'm a little discombobulated from my departure from the show. What were you talking about while I was gone? Were you just screaming the N-word at the top of your lungs trying to get my channel in trouble? Or
yeah, I was dropping all kinds of words. You should be getting an email in a few minutes. This is all over.
Good.
No, all over.
No, we're almost to 10,000. It's not over. Nothing's over until I say it's over.
They said something about permanently deleted. And then
never.
Yeah, I stopped listening after that.
Anyway,
so everything you built will be gone in a few minutes. But hey,
I say thee nay.
Had a good run.
All right. So, what's the latest with you? I've been doing a lot of talking, and then my computer crashed. So I was a big distraction for the show. What's the latest with you? Talk to me, friend.
Talk to me, Goose. Just working and shit. New year. About my son's about to start football. My daughter,
spring ball, huh? Like spring flag?
Yeah, there's two different leagues. And if we, deemed it so, he could play football from January to June. Because the leagues, there's only like a 2-day break between both leagues, and then the second one starts. So he could be playing for a while. It depends.
And no tackle ball yet, right? Because he's
no need. He'll be 9 years old in a few weeks.
My son started tackle ball at 8. That was the first year he wore helmets and full pads and everything.
I did it. I started at 9. I played 9 to 13.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's just no rush. We'll see.
Okay.
But my daughter right now, she turned 13 last Saturday, so she's at a Justin Timberlake concert with her mom and her BFF right now. So
did he ever bring sexy back? He said he was going to forever.
Well, as far as I know, he's a man of his word, so I feel like it's back. Right. But he did promise that. But
celebrities annoy you like they annoy me. Like I love what they do, like movies, acting, but then I don't want to hear otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the realm of their profession, I'm all for it. But when it gets, and it's not even if they have a difference of opinion. If there's a difference of opinion, or if they have a differing opinion, that's fine. But how do you present it? Right. Are you a fucking emotional 15-year-old girl psychopath about it? Or can we have an adult conversation and walk away with, our respect for each other intact? That was cool. If you can do that, cool. But if it's this crazy ass non-binary horse shit, no, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I feel like Trump coming Monday wipes a lot of that away. I feel like woke lost. They lost 2024. They had embarrassed. They were tripping over their dicks all year. Embarrassing failure after embarrassing failure. The Marvel movies don't make money. All those video games lost hundreds of millions as I've been over with you. Oh my God. I have to show you something. You're going to laugh your head off.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that the budgets on these video games, like that's a Marvel movie budgets on a video game.
AAA games are insane. But I have to tell you, my YouTube video for tomorrow that you're all going to watch, Jericho, you have to know about this because I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. What has happened here? Okay. Remember, I am one of the artists for the Arkham City, the hit video game, the comic book series. I'm one of the artists for that. 2011, me and my buddy, Carl Estiana, did the visual art, the illustration, and the creator of the amazing 90s cartoon, he wrote the comic. Dream come true for me to work on that. blah, blah, blah. 1 year ago, a woke video game studio made a game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. All the bad guys kill and humiliate the good guys. Like, we get it. You hate your dad. Destroy everything your dad made. Superman dies. Batman dies. Wonder Woman doesn't die because she's female, because they're sexist and they hate men. Green Lantern dies. The Flash dies, and they pee on the Flash's corpse. They not only kill all the heroes, they humiliate them. This pissed everyone off with its turbo wokeness so much. The game was an absolute flop. Nobody bought it. Nobody plays it. And it lost, the rumors are, Warner Brothers Interactive or whatever the video game division is, $200 million at least. Damn. And when they release these big games, they release extra story and extra levels every 3 months or so. It's called DLC, downloadable content. And they can do it for a year or two, or if the game's real popular, they can keep going. So this one was planned to have DLC for maybe a year or two or whatever. And they rewrote it. They kill all the good guys and humiliate them because they hate their fathers and they're Marxists. And they rewrote it, and they did what can only be described as a Poochie. Do you know who Poochie is from The Simpsons?
No.
This is Poochie. On The Simpsons, they had an episode back in the 90s where it was good that Homer gets a job being a voice actor in a cartoon, and he's Poochie, the rockin' dog. He's extreme. He rides skateboards. And they're making fun of like a cash grab when a company is like successful, then they go too far and they do too much. And they added this, 90s extreme character to The Simpsons, and he's super annoying. And then they realize they got to get rid of Poochie. So they don't even spend money on the advertising or the voice or the animation or the acting. They just do this to get rid of Poochie. It's so funny. Watch this. And then I'll loop it back to the Suicide Squad. You'll see. It's right. Hold on. It's right here. This is the death of Poochie on The Simpsons.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
That's fucked up.
Right, so they just got rid of Poochie without spending any time or money.
Just lift him out of the
yeah,
frame.
I have to. Did you hear the audio? I forgot if I clicked it on.
Yeah.
Right, I have to go now. My planet needs you. It wasn't even the same voice actor. They didn't even animate it. They just pulled the animation cell up and see the numbers. So I feel so vindicated because I talk so much shit about the Warner Brother video game people that are all woke and all this. And here's what they did. They said that killing all the heroes in Superman, all that, it was just a dream.
Oh,
it didn't really happen. They were all clones. And they didn't, in a video game, in between the levels and at the end of the game, you get an awesome full motion animation, voice acting, special effects, right? It's like an animated cartoon. They didn't even animate the end of this game. It's still comic book like panel frames with a voiceover from a different actress than the one that played the main character in the real game.
Damn.
So they just sent Poochie back to his planet. Pathetic.
What a hodgepodge.
Oh,
it's not supposed to be this patchwork nonsense. Like
amazing.
It's like a car that it needs new parts, like it needs new body work.
Right.
And you find it's the parts from the same year, but they're all a different color.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's a car, but the fender's different color than the trunk and the roof and all that shit. Like that's too big of a company to do some half-ass, haphazard bullshit.
Oh my God. So
like that.
You look at the characters right there on the screen. That's them, the 3D models, like going and seeing a 3D animated movie. Would you beat the game now? This is what you get. They're great drawings, but they're still drawings. And there's just a voiceover of a different actress. I have to go back to my planet. And literally, there's a few pictures. They show the villain. It's a great drawing. It looks like Bernard Chang's work. I worked with Bernie. I don't know if it's him, but it sure looks like his work. That doesn't. But they have still panels instead of the full video like they always did for the whole game because they have to admit defeat. Everyone hated their idea of peeing on the Flash's face after you kill him.
But
really,
this is something that a company would do that didn't have the money to redo stuff. Not Warner Brothers, but you guys have the money to do anything, and this is what you do. This still frame. Oh, just kidding. Bullshit. No, you should scrap that whole project, apologize to everybody who's a fan of it, and then come back with some serious, heavy-hitting, this is exactly what we want type shit. And looking at this,
funny. It's so funny to me that these leftists, they never learn. They get it wrong. Pacific Palisades burns to the ground. All the bad things happen. The Biden presidency, the woke entertainment. And they won't just go, God, maybe it was me. Maybe I got that wrong. It's always something else. They don't learn. It's insane to me.
But this, like, seeing that picture of Batman all bloody, like, that made me wonder, has there ever been a rated R Batman? Like, movie? I don't think so.
No, I mean, they're pretty edgy because modern PG and PG-13 is basically R, right? You know, with the boobs and the cussing and all that they put in PG-13 now.
But they don't really
I don't
put
know
no
what the
tits.
Batman is rated. The new The Batman, it's like an R movie. It's very violent.
But they don't like show tits or nothing in a bat, like a
No,
PG-13
only if it was like
movie.
a fat dude in a rainbow wig or something, you know.
But like in those in a PG movie, you're not going to get T in it. I mean, you might get some A, you know, somebody's butt walking away from the camera or something, but you're not going to get no titties. You're not going to get no real like real gruesome shit. Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Heather.
I just love that they had to cheap out with a different actress, still frames, and just say, hey, that thing that pissed you all off, it was just a joke. It didn't really happen.
But that's some shit that you expect from a more mom and pop type operation who doesn't have the funds to do something like that, to have it, to reanimate it for the end. Like, man, we have to use these still frames. We have to use a different voiceover actress because, you know, we can't afford whatever. That's some lower budget type activity.
Embarrassing.
But not Warner fucking Brothers.
Right.
Where they got the money to redo everything the right way.
Right.
So why do they think? Is that how little they think of their customer, or like what would be their motivation behind some half-ass shit like that?
I love Poochie died on the way back to his home planet, so they just get rid of the character completely.
I don't get it, man.
Oh, I love it. I don't know what it is. I left DC Comics in 2021 because all their woke shenanigans, and it's been blunder after blunder after blunder after I left. And I don't want to say it's about me and it has anything to do with me. It is just one of those bizarre coincidences. And maybe it was horrible when I was there, but I just don't remember it like this. Mm-hmm. You know, there was woke stuff, but we did a lot of normal adventure comic books that were very normal. And after dude, you won't even believe this. I have to tell you about this. And then we'll get on to Street Fighter because I delayed the show so much. You will not believe this exists because I didn't believe it either. I didn't believe it. Let's see. Here it is on comicbookmovie.com. This is real, Jericho, by the way. This is
that's what makes it so sweet. That it's real.
This is a real thing, and I'm not making it up, and you're not going to believe what this is. DC Comics announces gross Harley Quinn. They say series, but it's a one-shot. It's one issue about, you see that?
Her farts? What?
The entire book is about farting.
Wow. Did an 8-year-old boy write it?
A grown woman in her early 40s or late 30s wrote it. So.
There you go.
Oh, look at Captain Haruno doubting me. No, Captain Haruno, this was news a month ago. I would, like you, thought this was fake news. This is all too real, this news. All too real. It's absolutely 100%. 100% real. It's unbelievable that they do this. It's like I don't even want, like, are you kidding me? Look, like, I'm embarrassed to show this, but we need to shame them. So know that I do this with full revulsion and I disavow this. This is what they're doing. That is a stream of fart coming out of her behind as she dances as a ringmaster in the center of some poorly drawn circus.
But why?
This is what they're doing. What are they doing?
But why?
I don't know. Between this and the peeing on the Flash's face, I sense a theme here. So, I don't know.
So dumb and unnecessary.
I thank God I left that company. I'd be humiliated to tell people I was working on stuff like that. Hey, Dad, guess what I did? Your boy did it, Dad.
I tore down everything you built.
Dad, I ruined it all.
That shit is so stupid. They have to be serving some selfish interest or something.
It's not done to make anything good. It is done to be ugly on purpose. You have to study communists and Marxists. This is what they do. They come in and go, oh, You like beef? Well, cows are ruining the environment. We got to get rid of beef. Oh, you like football? Well, they're too rough. They need to tackle like wimps. Oh, you like this? You like everything? Is it a coincidence that everything you like, everything the Western Christian democratic world has come up with in the last 2,000 years is bad for the world, and the communists tell us why we need to get rid of it? It's not a coincidence, dude.
Mm-hmm.
These people are hateful, resentful people. They hate their fathers, and they want to destroy their father's culture.
And
that's who it's about. The suffering. They think it's funny when they destroy what you love. It's like they come up and knock your sandcastle and go, ha ha ha. Mm-hmm. They're just empty people. They're awful people.
And they want to take away your beef, but then make you eat something that looks like beef.
Right.
It looks just like it, but it's not it. It's made from fucking soy. It's made from like the runoff from fucking Chinese vegetable plants or some shit. Like that stuff's horrible. And I've never understood that. Why, if you're going to be a vegan or a vegetarian, why do you constantly try to make your food look like meat and taste like meat?
Right.
Wouldn't you be going the total opposite direction? Like that's so fucking dumb. Like we don't want you to eat the cow's corpses, but our food's going to look like a cow's corpse.
Insane. So I don't make stuff like that. Go to bigmancomics.com. You can still get one of the last few. I sold out of Dean Cain All-American Lawman autograph cover F. So now I've got like 10 of them left. There's like two cover styles left. Imperium, my sci-fi epic, all the illustration is done. And my colorist, he's got some colors to me yesterday. We'll be done end of January, first week of February with colors. That book will get lettered. That book will get designed. That means it's turned into a PDF to go to the printer. And you're not going to be able to avoid that book. You're going to see that book everywhere on social media. I'll just tell you that. Working on some deals to distribute that book. It's going to be a smash hit. So thank you guys for supporting Big Man Comics as you're making great things happen. The Tyrus book is coming along beautifully. And I've got another one. It's a military thriller like Black Hawk Down, like 13 Hours, the Benghazi soldier story and all that. It's like that. It takes place in Tripoli, Libya. And it's a heartbreaking story. It's got a little 310 to Yuma in it too. It's the kind of stuff I love about fathers and sons and bravery and self-sacrifice and dying for the people you love. And it's very relevant to what's going on in the world today. Libya having no government and being the door to just immigrants going to Europe and all this stuff. It's really a great book. I just came up with it out of the blue about a month ago, and I wrote the script in 2 days. 120-page book, and it's called Tripoli. I haven't revealed that anywhere but here just now. It's called Tripoli, and you guys are going to love that. And that will be coming after the Tyrus one. And then the Dean Cain sequel will begin work after that. So I'm thinking like the fall for that. So it's going to be a wait for more Dean Cain. But this Tripoli thing, I just got to itch, and I have to scratch it on this. It's really a fantastic book. So,
dude, you got to do a Western.
Oh, my friend Peter Brandvold is like the top-selling Western author in America. He writes like 6 books a year, and I've wanted to adapt his Lou Prophet series into comics because they're so good. They're so good. So, yeah, I'm ahead of you on that. I drew like a 5-page sample of Lou Prophet like 15 years ago, adapting one of the Devil and Lou Prophet, I believe. And that was the first Lou Prophet book I ever read. Fantastic. But Peter Brandvold is an outstanding Western author. He's a personal friend of mine. So I'm right there with you on the Westerns, dude. Love Westerns. So
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Let's take a big bite of this doo-doo sandwich called Double Impact Street Fighter.
But this is like a club sandwich, doo-doo sandwich. You know, like a club sandwich is 3 layers and you can hardly get your mouth around it. That's what this is.
What she said.
This is like,
I had to jump in there. I had to jump in there with my 12-year-old comment.
This is like one of those like novelty giant meals that if you finish it, it's free. Like it's that size of a shit sandwich. Like it's a 25-ounce triple layer shit sandwich, and you have to wash it down with a shit milkshake and shit chips.
This is the works. This is the works. This is the belly buster of
this is the kit and caboodle of shit movies.
No,
right here.
2 things are going on for me in this movie that are crazy. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme in a sincere way. Love his action movies. Yeah. I love the corniness and the action. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's made some very, very awesome action movies. And I love Street Fighter with a passion. I don't play it very much or anything like that, but I love it. I love the design. I've shown you before. I have 2 giant, like 300-page Street Fighter art books at my drawing desk. because I love the aesthetic of the Japanese manga mixed with the American comic books that they did for a lot of these Street Fighter comics. I love Van Damme. I love Street Fighter. I don't know what the hell this movie is.
I
It's
don't
one of
even.
the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
We'll have one more shit analogy. So like if it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, still like winter, it's cold outside. And so you're sitting in your front lawn with a little table and you have like a white tablecloth over it. And you have a knife and a fork and a plate and you have a glass full of juice. You're going to have some breakfast. And so I'm standing there and I have like a white butler's coat on and white gloves. And then we back an elephant up like 6 feet from the table.
Oh.
And I have this giant silver platter and I put it under the elephant's asshole. The elephant takes a giant, like 50-pound shit, and I take it straight from the elephant, still steaming, and I put it on the table in front of you to enjoy. That's the kind of shit that this movie is. It's a fresh, steaming pile, 98.6 degrees shit.
Since we're going with the poop here as a theme, this movie does have a few nuggets of comedy in it, though. There are a few one-liners that actually made me laugh out loud because they're so stupid.
But what do you have to go through to get to them?
They're so bad, it's good. And the elephant poop, I took my kids to the circus like 15 years ago. And it was, I think it was Barnum Bailey Circus. We liked it. We had fun. And then he brought out the elephants. And there was one of the clowns. He was dressed in clown makeup. But he had a big snow shovel. And he followed the elephant around. And when it took a crap out there, he caught the poop with the snow shovel. Literally. And like got it off the arena.
What a job.
Yeah.
What a job.
Hey, somebody's got to do it, man.
Hey, back off, lady. I took a lot of shit at work today.
Can you imagine you're catching elephant dumps all day? You come home and your wife is like, you never fix anything around here. She's just like riding you and you're catching the elephant, 25-pound elephant turds.
Let me get a fucking beer. Dude,
is it too much to have a fucking sandwich when I come home?
He took off the clown hair, but he still has the clown makeup on.
He's all serious yelling at her, but he still has that big red nose on.
Hey, fucking do this. Do that. Let's walk through the fucking door.
Captain Haruta says, where do you put them? I think there was, this is like 15, 16 years ago. I think there was a big trash can he was also pushing around.
He just flung it into the audience.
Michael Cook says, Gabe, I'm all about military stuff. Tom Clancy, David. You're going to love this. I would say, like, honestly, it's like Black Hawk Down and it's like 310 to Yuma. You're going to love this thing. And we're doing it in the European style. So I might do a different ratio, like wider book or something like that. That in Europe, comic books are called bande dessinée. That's what the French term is. And they're hardcover. I don't know if I'm going hardcover yet. I have to check the prices on everything. Because you got to pay more per unit, and then you got to pay more to ship it because it weighs more, and blah, blah, blah. And then how much do I have to charge you for this book? But it's going to be a masterpiece. I've talked to Akion. He wants to illustrate this. And the issue of the immigrants from Libya, because that's where they're coming into Europe, because Libya doesn't have a government right now. I don't know if you guys know that or not. 2011, Obama's State Department destroyed that government there. Gaddafi was killed by the uprising. We haven't had a solid government there since. There are different spheres of influence, different groups claiming that they are the government, different militias backing up different armies, backing up different leaders. It's a mess in my dad's home country. It's an absolute mess. Thank you, Obama. Great job. And all the immigrants, illegal immigrants to Europe, that's where they flow through. So to me, that was by design. Obama State Department, Susan Power, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, they did that on purpose to my dad's home country to make it a doorway to Europe. Because if you look at a map, that's pretty close to Italy, Libya. It's like 400 miles. You can be in Malta like in 300 miles, in Italy like it's the closest, one of the closest points there of a country that could have been overthrown like that. This is Gabe politically ranting. I probably don't know what I'm talking about on some of this, but I think it's very politically relevant for the world we live in. And then we always will hit on the themes that I love to talk about being a good man, being a brave man, dying for the people you love, fathers taking care of sons, things like that. It's a great story. And it's got an Army Ranger in it as the main character. What's not to love? And I do my research. I don't just make stuff up out of thin air. I get books. I go online. I read all about how this stuff works. So I'm going to do deep research. I've already written the script, but writing, as they say, is rewriting. So I'm going to go back and probably write the script like 2 more times before we start drawing it in, I'd say, April. I think it'll start getting drawn in April, but it's going to be gorgeous, this book. Gabe for Libya government. Do you know how close I am to the leader of Libya? After Gaddafi was overthrown, Mustafa, I forget his last name, was Mustafa, I can't remember his last name, was the prime minister, president, boss over there. And he dealt with Hillary Clinton and John Kerry and John McCain. He's my dad's best childhood friend. They grew up right on the street together. Is what Mustafa, I can't remember his last name. It's been to my dad's house in Colorado. So I am one person removed from the guy who was temporarily the leader of Libya in 2011. So it's not that off when you say Gabe for the Libyan government. But I'm all American, baby. I wouldn't go be president somewhere else, even if they offered it to me on a platter. I'm an American, damn it. Joe Mello, haven't seen you in a while, baby. For $4.99. Hey, Gabe and Jericho, Happy New Year's. Keep up the great work. This movie was horrible.
Yes, it was.
So there you go.
This movie was awful.
And of course, when you send the super chat, you're going to get the booty from Van Damme, whether you like it or not.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
So there you go. Thank you, Joe Mello, for adding to my coffers.
Some Belgian buns.
Yeah, well, it's in honor of Street Fighter, the movie. Oh, and next week's guest, Matthew Marsden, will be coming in live
Isn't it?
in Texas via London. Isn't he from? No, he's not from London. He's from England. I don't know where.
So he's going to be in London.
No, he's gonna be in Dallas.
Oh, but he's from. Okay.
I was just making shit up.
I was like, wait a minute.
But he'll be the
Yeah.
guest next week. We'll have Matthew Marsden in on next Wednesday.
What? Yeah.
What's all they saying? In
We'll
there.
have him here and tell him how awful British food is.
When we have him on, we shouldn't do the show on Wednesdays. We should do it on Tuesday.
Just so we can hear him say Tuesday.
What day is it, Matthew? It's Tuesday.
No, we don't choose. It's not a day to choose. What day do you want to be here? Tuesday. I am trying to choose a day. Which day do you want to be here? Oh, Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday.
I'm so glad he doesn't really talk like that.
Tuesday.
Uh,
Yeah. Thank you for not talking like that, Matt Mars. I can't wait to hang out with you, brah.
Here's the premise of the Street Fighter movie, since we're now an hour in because of my technical delay.
Hello.
M. Bison, the man on the left there in a cape, because sane people always wear capes and commander hats and have their own private terrorist armies. Here's the president of a city-state called Shadaloo. He's the supreme dictator commander. He wants to take over the world and make the world Bisonopolis. He talks about this in the movie. He also wants to make super soldiers with crazy mutagen science and all, like the DNA, blah, 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 Ninja Turtle ooze, kind of crap from the 90s. And he has captured like 50 civilians. And Shadaloo is somewhere in Southeast Asia, Thailand, or China or something. I couldn't really tell. They're not very clear on where Shadaloo is. And he's got like 50 random civilians, and he's going to kill them in 3 days unless the United Nations gives him $20 billion. That is the plot of this poo-poo movie.
Yes.
So,
yeah, that's right. In a nutshell, a terrible nutshell. And R.I.P. Raul Julia, he plays Bison. You can tell, I didn't notice this as a kid, but watching it now, you can tell how gaunt his face is. And
he died shortly after this, right? He was very sick with cancer.
He died before the release of this movie. He died of stomach cancer October of 94, and this came out, I think, 2 days before Christmas, 94.
Oh, wow.
So he died a couple months before this was released.
And I heard he agreed to make this, because he's a good actor, Raul Julia. In this movie, I don't want to say it's beneath him, but, he's a good actor. And I heard that he did this because he had young children, some boys at the house, that say, Dad, do this movie. We love Street Fighter. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. So.
Yeah, because he's totally a classically trained actor in Puerto Rico and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, you would think he's a little more upper crust, but you could totally understand him, especially your sons. Dad, come on, do this movie. And they like it. Like, yeah, you want to be cool. You want to, be in a movie that your kids are going to love about something that they love. But, yeah, you could definitely tell that he's sick in this movie. But he does a great job.
He does a great job being a maniac, because
just a total
so cartoonishly over the top.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be a lunatic megalomaniac villain, and it allows him to do it. So I bet
he does it.
I'll have to ask Matthew, have you played a lot of villains, and is it fun? Because the first thing Matthew did was Coronation Street in England. That's like a soap opera that's very popular for like 60 years.
Yeah.
And he played an army veteran that had returned from the Middle East, back from the British forces, back to London or whatever. And he's a mechanic, the young hunky mechanic, because in real life he's like 22 at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's having an affair with his boss's wife on the show. That was his plot line. So he already played a villain there, So I wonder if playing a villain, I think playing a villain would be more fun than playing the good guy. Playing the good guy would be cooler, But playing the villain, you could be real wacky, I think, if it was like a Joker type villain or something like that.
Yeah. That's basically, that level of just being a psychotic, maniacally laughing like that, over the top villain is what he was. And everything, like Gabe said, is cartoonish and over the top, but in the worst fucking way.
Right. My granddaughter, big baby, she has discovered, I bought her the classic Disney DVDs, unedited, unwoke. Little Mermaid, Lion King, we got Robin Hood. We got her like 20 DVDs at Christmas. She only wants to watch Mimi. That's the mermaid, over and over and over. And there's a scene at the end where Ursula, the evil witch, the octopus lady, is going to marry Prince Eric because he's under her spell because she stole Ariel's voice.
No, Ariel gave it up.
That's
she
true.
Signed that shit.
That's true. And she's combing her hair and she's in front of the mirror getting ready for the wedding, and she's singing her evil plan. And I will control him in the world and blah, 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 blah. And I was telling my wife, if I ever do something really evil, I'm going to sing it first.
Really drive home the fact that
Going to rob
psycho.
the bank and get away.
While you're brushing your hair
Right.
in the mirror.
You're doing the Home Alone. You're shaving and slapping on the aftershave. Going to rob the bank.
Hey, that's real shit. I thought that was just some movie stuff until I started shaving and I did that with aftershave. Yeah, that shit really does hurt.
Yeah.
Alcohol
I don't
burns.
clean shave because I don't like getting the shave, the razor burn, the little bitty white zits you can get sometimes, ingrown hairs and stuff. So I use hair clippers to shave my beard down to like a millimeter. So I always have some stubble. I don't like to go with the Gillette and the shaving cream all the way because the times I've done it, it itches, man. I hate it.
Well, even with beard trimmers, you can get pretty low without having,
Right.
those issues.
Right. Yeah. I remember, I think the Cincinnati Reds had a rule that you were not allowed to have a mustache when Marge Schott was the owner in the 70s and the 80s. I remember, I think that was a rule like for their team or something like that. So
Yeah, she was wild.
yeah. She was wilding out a little bit.
She was crazy.
All right, we got to plow through this because we are late and this movie sucks.
Let's plow, dude.
All right.
Let's plow it.
So Bison comes on. He threatens the world with the broadcast on TV. And then this reporter here, that's Chun-Li, is the female Chinese fighting character. She's the one in the foreground there. She's a news reporter in this, but actually she's like a CIA agent or something like that. And she goes to the UN forward operating base or whatever near Shadaloo City because they've been fighting with Bison back and forth. And Jean-Claude Van Damme plays Colonel Guile, the all-American Colonel Guile, with a USA flag on his clothes and tattooed on his right shoulder. And he grabs the mic and starts telling Bison that I'm coming for you and we're going to free the hostages. And it's really, really weird.
Really corny. It's like a wrestling promo. Basically that was cutting right there is a wrestling promo saying he's going to do this and that. I'm coming for you, Carlos, or what do you call him? Charlie. Charlie, I'm coming for you. Do not worry. Charlie.
Because that's Van Damme's like best friend. Charlie was captured by Colonel Bison. Like
so
within
4.5 seconds, Bison realizes, he pulls his name tag or his dog tag and says Carlos. And Carlos is Spanish for Charles. Charlie. He's like, oh, you're his friend. Take him down to the laboratory and fuck with his DNA.
Yeah, they're gonna turn him into Blanca, the big green gorilla monster from Street Fighter 2. So, and Chun-Li is an Interpol agent. I didn't know. I knew she was a secret agent. I just didn't know what kind.
Yeah.
And this guy in the background that plays Zangief, the Russian wrestler, he was Latimer in that college football movie with James Caan called The Program. Did you see that movie like in 92 or 93?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he played Latimer in that, the crazy defensive lineman. And he's got some great one-liners in this movie.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He's a total moron in this movie.
Idiot.
Yeah. So, it was like a wrestling promo. They're kind of going back and forth at each other. And, I'll kill the hostages and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it was bad. And don't for 1 second, not for 1 second, think that this movie's going to get better. Don't you dare. Don't you think if I go 15 more minutes, 10 more minutes, it's got to get good. It's got to get better. Don't. Okay, it does not. I would say it gets worse.
Someone in the chat, I think it was Alpha Proto, said that the writer said he wrote this one in one day, and it shows.
I believe it.
Because when you write, you're like, I have these ideas and I want XYZ to happen. So you write your script and it's like, okay, it happened, but it kind of doesn't make sense because if they did that, then they would think this and then that would happen. So you have to rewrite, and then you earn every moment of the story, so the readers don't and the viewers don't roll their eyes like, oh, okay, that would happen suddenly.
Mhm.
And you could tell in this movie, he just like, this is a first draft.
Yeah.
Like, this is just what happens, and we did not rewrite. We didn't worry about polishing the story at all. And that's not a criticism of the writer. Every writer has to rewrite. You do drafts over and over. You know what I mean? I do for the graphic novels. I do 120 pages. I write my graphic novels as a 2-hour action movie. It's the same thing. It's 120 pages. And I go through about 4 drafts to finish one, you know. So, and then I'm even changing it as the comic is coming. Sometimes we'll be drawing it. You know what? What if we drew it this way instead? And then we'll change it in the drawing, even not even in the script. And then when I have the finished drawings and the colors, then I put the dialogue in, and we can change the story there with the dialogue if we make them say something else. You know what I mean? So writing is just rewriting, and it's just polishing and diamond.
But
This was the first draft. Or this was the
already,
back of a napkin, this movie. I don't even know if it was the first draft.
Yeah, but that when you describing the process took longer than he did to write this. This was the executives told him he has 1 month to write a script, and he woke up that morning like the beginning of an 80s teenage, you know, he's late for school movie.
So
he woke up in
swallows
bed
the orange juice, and he has the toast in his mouth as he runs out the door
with his jacket halfway on, his tie untied, and papers flying out of his briefcase because he woke up and realized, shit, I have to write a script. So he's weaving through traffic, watch where you go, asshole, writing this script on the dashboard. He pulls up, doesn't even put the papers in order, shoves them in his briefcase, and runs upstairs, and they greenlit it. Because
and then when he gets all the way in his office, he has some stuff written, and he like drops it in the trash or the paper shredder by accident, and he has to start all over at the last minute.
The secretary comes in, and spills coffee all over it, and the ink runs. Just the worst shit ever, because that has to have happened for this movie to get made, because this movie at every turn on every level is fucked up. These two right here, I was watching this with my son, and I go, that's Ken and Ryu right there, and he goes, it is? Now, granted, yes, the video game came out a couple years before this. So yes, it's animation. They're going to have humongous, you know, unrealistic muscles and all this shit. Yeah, it's going to be tough to find 2 guys that look like that. But come on.
That's Ken and Ryu. Ken Masters in red and Ryu in white.
But you could have done better than now Ryu, the guy on the right, he knows some martial arts. That dude on the left, Ken doesn't know shit.
And he's not muscular, and he's not blonde. You can't find a blonde. You can't dye his hair blonde.
Dude, he can't fucking fight. They got a regular actor to play a character in a fighting video game, man. The fucking casting was awful. Who did this shit? What the fuck,
like
man?
This stuff is these characters are fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, and by fantastic, I mean they're fantasy characters. It's not realistic at all, and it shouldn't be. You know,
you don't need a bunch of Shakespeare level actors to pull this movie off. Maybe more concentrate on the look. You have Van Damme as your main character, so he can act like, you know, Raul Julia. You got some people to keep the, you know, so to put some rails on this thing to keep it, you know, somewhat like a movie. But the rest of them, just get them based on looks. Get a bunch of muscular guys who can deliver a couple lines. There you go. Maybe some guys who have been, you know, background or the henchmen in some movies who know a little bit about a movie, know how to deliver a line, but mainly they look the part. And they didn't fucking do that at all. Even Blanca, even with practical special makeup and stuff, you could totally make him look realistic.
The green ape guy, they transform Carlos the soldier into that, like by the end of the second act or something. It looks like makeup you buy at Party City. And a wig you get at like the bargain bin at Party City. It's so, we'll see. I'll show you guys. It's so terrible. So anyways, these 2 heroes, the 2 heroes of the game, the good guys in the red and the white in the front there.
Yeah.
They're both karate masters. In this game, they're like gun runners.
Yeah.
And they go to Sagat, who is a right-hand man of Colonel Bison, who's like, he's the main gun arms dealer for Bison's terrorist army. They go to sell him guns. They're not real guns. They're like Nerf guns that shoot like tennis balls.
Yeah.
And
because they're good guys. They're good guy gun runners.
Yeah, something. I don't know what the deal is. And I have so many questions about this. So then go to an underground fight. One of our favorite things with all the gambling and all the, you know, it's in a old decrepit building with lights hanging from the ceiling, and everybody's waving around their little billets and their dollars to bet on the fight. And they fight Vega, who is a Spaniard fighter with Wolverine claws. It's terrible. It's just I don't understand.
But he looks closest to one of the video game characters.
He does.
He's all ripped. He has hella muscles. The braid, the one long braid, the tattoo. They nailed it with him. They nailed it with Vega.
Yeah.
But Dalzim's a fucking scientist. Show that picture. Show the picture again. That's Dalzim right there in the chair. He's a fucking scientist. The same guy who was in Indiana Jones' Temple of Doom, who was the handler for the prince. That's him in the back with the stripes on his head and the fucking eyes. That's Dalzim in the game. And one of his moves, his legs and arms would extend super long, and he could hit you from far away. But anyway, he's ripped. He's a fighter. He's a street fighter.
He's just a scientist who's making the mutation stuff to turn the one guy, Charlie, into the green ape beast. I don't know how this movie got made. I don't know. Street Fighter is long overdue for a remake, but the 90s movie will hold a special place in my childhood. I could see loving this movie if you were 10 or 11 years old. Right, because it's Street Fighter. They're just on the screen, and you're a kid. You don't give a crap, So,
but look, they nailed it with Zangief.
Yeah,
big old buff dude. Like, come on, Street Fighter,
dummy.
You guys.
And there's Charlie being turned into Blanca. The way they turn him into Blanca, the Green Ape Man, they make him watch horrifying footage of murders and wars and awful things to make him demented, and then pump him with mutagen or something. So.
And they don't leave that to imagination. They wheel in like 8 of these humongous giant IV bags filled with like yellow and orange and green liquid that state clearly on the bag what they're for.
Right.
Way to spoon feed me.
Right. So then they're forced to fight. And then right before they're going to lose the fight, Ken and Ryu, the two karate masters, Colonel Guile Van Damme drives a giant military vehicle with 2 warheads on it through the wall.
Look how about the destruction that 2 bombs that size would do. Those are like 2,000-pound rockets. You would have to be miles away to shoot those things, or you would kill yourself too. Like, that is just fucking ridiculous.
So stupid. He drives through the wall, probably ran over like 10 of the village peasants and killed them. And then he goes,
killed 20 people.
He's you are all under arrest, or you are under the treads of my tank. One of
you are either under arrest or under the tire.
So Bison, Colonel Bison, the evil dictator wearing the cape, he already threatened Van Damme and told him, you will never stop me, and I have the hostages, and you have 3 days to save them.
72 hours.
Very important how time doesn't even work in this movie correctly. Nope. And again, as a writer, when you're writing a script, you have to keep track. Sunrise, midday, sunset, the next day. You got to keep this stuff in order, or your reader's going to be like, well, it was morning, now it's night, now it's morning again, now it's not, like, and like you're jumping time. This movie does not do a tidy job of dealing with the 3 days to stop Bison and his army. It's terrible.
It's very laser mission.
This is day 1. Keep track of this. Watch what happens.
Your first day. And this fucking guy, there are guards because this is like the war room, right? So there's 2 guards at the door. This fucking guy right here in the white coat, he's a servant. He's bringing tea. The way they check him is they look at his name tag and then they let him come in. They don't search him. They don't use a fucking metal detector wand. They just look at his badge. Get on in here with all these high-ranking military officials and give him tea.
Right, and he goes to kill Van Damme. Van Damme like thunder punches him down into the table, and then keeps going on with the meeting about what they're going to do about Bison and the Shadaloo terrorist army.
Yeah, he fucks the dude up, throws him off the table, and goes, "Is there any more points of business?" Like, he doesn't even pay attention. And
then Cammy, another Street Fighter character who's like Van Damme's right-hand woman, she rips the guy's shirt open because she thinks she sees a tattoo.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like if you're arresting someone, you don't just rip their clothes off, right?
I think you can. I think cops have the right to just strip you naked.
I guess.
Throw you in the car.
And he has the tattoo that identifies him as one of the bad guys.
Yep.
So I want you to understand, this is, we'll say Tuesday. We'll start it on a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So he has 3 days. He has all of Tuesday, all of Wednesday, all of Thursday to save the
And
hostages.
that's it.
This
That's
is
it.
Tuesday, we'll say morning, 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I would
Tuesday
say?
by 11 a.m., these people have been arrested, gone to trial,
Dude,
lost their
process.
court case, and they are now imprisoned.
In prison. And
3
you know what I
hours after
tell?
they're arrested, they are now in prison with jumpsuits on.
Like the sentences and everything. You know what I would say to Vega right now? Hey, back the fuck up, dude. Why are you so close to me? We're in prison. You can't be doing that. Get the fuck away
I
from
think
me,
that's
man.
exactly why he's doing it.
Fuck back,
He
weirdo.
says, yeah.
Fucking weirdo. And then, so that's Sagat, right? So he's also a character in Street Fighter, obviously. So why is he 65 years old? Dude, he's old as fuck. Dude, he's not no Street Fighter. Man, they suck. Who fucking cast this?
Someone in the chat said that eye patch is on the wrong eye for the character. I don't doubt it.
Yeah, you think they checked?
I
They just
remember
put it on his eye.
before this stuff hit any mainstream or anything, and it was just a video game. So you would only play it at the arcade, and you would see it in like Nintendo Power magazine. I didn't know it was Sagat. I called him Saget.
Yeah, Bob Saget.
Yeah, so I had that wrong. In those uniforms, they look like UN humanitarian workers. Jeez, yeah. So they went to prison 2 hours after being arrested.
Their legal system, fucking bang bang, you're through.
And then Ken and Ryu, the guys that were trying to sell guns to Sagat, they're in prison too. So 2 hours later, they're also in prison. And a crazy prison fight breaks out. And this must be like a United Nations prison / base. Maybe it's a military prison.
It's all in
because
one.
Van Damme and Kylie Minogue are up in the window and they're watching these two. These two are kicking ass, Ken and Ryu.
On
They're
the
beating
yard.
up a lot of these prisoners. And he says, "Oh, those guys look pretty useful. Maybe I could use them or something like that. Let me talk to them."
Yeah,
Then we
who
come
those two
back to
guys?
Dulcim, the Indian scientist, and he's talking about the horrors of turning Blanca into the ape man with his evil science. And I love how the computer has to say what it's doing out loud. Muscle mass increased to 49%. Muscle mass increased to 50%. Like the guy's he's ballooning up in real time.
And this is only 3 hours, right? Remember, this is still
this is
the
like,
same day.
He drove that military vehicle through the wall at 9:03 a.m. It is now 11:12 a.m.
Yeah,
they've been
through the legal system. They've been sentenced. They've been put in prison, and they're going to come up with a plan to ingratiate themselves to Ken and Ryu to get them to basically go undercover and infiltrate Sagat's operation. And this is all probably hour 4 right now.
Right. This is So they're going to load everyone in these prison trucks and take them somewhere else because they're going to a different prison, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, this one isn't good enough. We're going to send you guys to a better prison that suits your punishment a little bit better.
And the big plan here is Ryu starts hustling with the guards. He steals the keys. They jump out. They unlock the truck that they're sitting in the bed of, that white truck there. The prisoners, Ryu, Sagat, Vega, Ken. They unlock the truck and jump out. They get into a big fight. Everything goes crazy. They're shooting and all stuff. Van Damme gets shot right in like the liver. Like he'd be dead. He's either in the appendix or the liver, the large, the sigmoid colon.
Multiple shots too.
Yeah.
Multiple shots to the abdomen, close range. It's over, man.
None of the Myers says this movie was made by crack, not cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine was the 80s. We're well into the crack.
Crazy thing about this movie, the people that made this movie went on to run the state of California Fire Preparedness Department. I don't know if you knew that.
They were there. Oh man, give me something to do, baby. They're like, hey, we got this LA fire thing over here if you want to fuck that up. Yeah, this movie definitely.
So you want me to put water in the reservoirs?
I mean, if you want, you don't have to. But I'll tell you this much.
And then the water just like sits in there.
We'll pay you $700,000 to figure it out. Because that's how much the lady makes who's in charge of the water in LA. She makes $700,000 a year.
I do like. Now, you read stuff on Twitter, you don't know if it's true or not. But I did read they were trying to put out the Palisades fires and they ran out of water after 3 million gallons. That's what I read. I don't know if it's true. I also read that there is a 117 million gallon reservoir in the Pacific Palisades that has been empty at least for like a year.
Mhm.
So if they ran out with 3 million, what could they have done with 117 million gallons of water?
Could put out some serious fires.
Do you
Man.
think that reservoir was in that neighborhood to supply that neighborhood with water?
Nah,
It's a crazy idea.
very crazy. Very
So
crazy. But again, the lady who's in charge of the water in LA makes over $700,000 a year. And she was saying that the number one objective for the water department, I guess you would call it, is diversity, equity, and inclusion, and making sure that the staffing there reflects the population of Los Angeles. But I don't know about you, but if I put somebody in charge of water, I want you to be a little Bobby Boucher about it, right?
can you
I want you to
imagine?
I want you to obsess about water and make sure we have plenty of it because I'm paying you almost $1 million a year to fucking focus on water.
Because this is how they do it with the DEI. They're like, oh, we got this guy. He could be in charge of the water stuff and all that. And oh, he's got a resume. He did this with water in another county back in Idaho. He's done it. And then the DEI coordinator person goes, yeah, but how does he feel about things up his butt?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's married to a woman, so he probably doesn't like that.
Oof. Well, can't hire this guy. Wait, is he black?
No.
Disabled? Is he an illegal immigrant, perhaps?
Like Alex Trebek would say, ooh, sorry. Yeah, he's none of that. He's a straight Christian white male.
Nope. Can't have those. I mean, they did just build this entire Western culture.
Gross.
So got to get rid of them now, though. Nicholas Hardick says conspiracy theory about Olympics 2028. I don't know the conspiracy theory, but I love conspiracy theories. I don't believe almost any of them.
Well, the 15-minute city conspiracy theory about LA.
Heard that.
I mean,
oh, this is infuriating. I'm going to try and not get mad. I heard on Twitter. You don't know if it's true because it's fucking Twitter. People are saying all kinds of things. That officials in California, heard on Twitter, don't know if this is true, are saying, hey, when we rebuild Altadena, that's to the east, like 15, 20 miles of where the fires, the Palisades were, Altadena was also burnt to a crisp. Mm-hmm. Single family homes, middle class neighborhoods, middle class, upper middle class, whatever, single family homes. Like, we could rezone this and put up a bunch of apartments to help solve the housing crisis. No, your job was to protect this. You destroyed it. This is these people's lives, their stories, their culture, their heritage, and then they can't have it back. You're going to turn it into something else. If you borrow something, Mike Jericho, you destroy it. You have to give me back what I had. You can't give me something else that I don't want. Geez, fuck, dude. If that is true, that they want to rezone this stuff to just fill it with apartments, ugh.
That could totally be true.
It should totally be illegal.
That could be true. And don't forget the slap in the face. I mean, $770 that they're giving the people who have been affected.
Ooh, a cool $770. That'll get you a tank of gas and dinner out in California.
That's it. And stop right there. That'll get you a tank of gas. Next.
Gasoline by where I live. I don't know what I think Northern California is probably a little less expensive than Southern, maybe. But down here, gasoline's still over $4. It could be $4.30, $4.80 for the good stuff,
I paid $4.59 yesterday.
Okay, so you're the same as me. Yeah.
And the real kick in the nuts about gas in California is we pump it from the earth here, we refine it, turn it into gas, send it to other places where it's cheaper to buy the gas, and we pay more than anybody else, and we make that shit right here. That's like you having a business where you make bread and you charge your family that works there more than you do the other customers. How the fuck is that? Don't you think you might get a break on the bread being that you make it? No, not California. They pay less for gas that we send them in Hawaii. Everything's expensive in Hawaii. Nope, California pays more than them, and we make that shit.
At what point do we say enough, dude? Because it is like, it's so nice where I live. It's paradise where I live. San Diego's unmatched. Our motto for the city, the literal motto for the Chamber of Commerce, America's finest city. It's so beautiful here. The best parts of California are like Orange County and San Diego. They're rich. They are up middle to upper middle class. There's also some extreme wealth, and they are conservative. They're oasis in the blue coast of California. And it's like I love living here. The weather, just the restaurants, the history. Like, the city is gorgeous. San Diego. I go on drives all the time. I just love driving around the area with my wife. We'll go find some exciting thing to eat at or go look at something. Last Thursday, Just drove to Mexico, went to Tijuana, had lunch, came back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I made a YouTube video. You guys can check that out after the show's over. But I went down there, did a taco review. It's like ate some delicious tacos. But I have one of those Sentry passes where I don't have to wait in the 3-hour line to come back to the States. I literally walk up to the border, flash my Sentry card, and go right through. And then I go to the final customs person. They put your face in the camera, you show them the card, you come back. So to cross the border for me is like 5 to 10 minutes. If you don't have a Sentry pass, it could be 1, 2, 3 hours. You know, it could be terrible.
Well, all of those things you just named, the close proximity to Mexico, the fact that you can hop back and forth over the border very easily, the landscape down there, the weather, the people, the politics, all those beautiful things that you just named are what they're trying to take away from you. They're in a tug of war, you wanting the beautiful state that you've grown to love and them wanting to turn it into whatever the fuck they want to turn it into. Well, and that's like, the messed up part is I have this perfect thing. I have this wonderful thing, and you're trying to take it away from me. Why are you trying to pull this from my grasp?
Well, it's like this thing that we talked about like half an hour ago. It's about the cruelty. It's not about them making something else or making something better. It's about them running up and kicking your sandcastle over and laughing about it, laughing at you. It's about the cruelty. It is. Marxists resent everyone. They really do. They hate and resent everyone, and they love to destroy things that people love. They do. They get off on it. So,
hey, give me about 10 minutes. I need to go put my son to bed because my wife is at the Justin Timberlake concert with my daughter. So I will be right back.
Okay, well, I'm going to turbo this movie. So maybe when you come back, I'll be at the finale. So
get it.
If you put him in a gentle sleeper hold, you see how fast. No, do not do that.
No, he's already out. I put Hennessy in his juice, so he's already. I just got to carry him to his bed.
Hennessy, huh?
Yeah, you know how we do.
That's a little stereotypical, Jericho.
Well, you know, I can't help it. All right, I'll be right back.
All right, guys. So this movie is atrocious. So, anyways, the Ken and Ryu, they try and make a jailbreak. It starts a riot. There's fighting. The UN officials and soldiers are shooting at the prisoners, which I think is overkill. The prisoners don't have weapons. But Van Damme is shot in the belly. And that's supposed to be the Chinese sumo wrestler played by, I believe, a Hawaiian man. He's quite tan and wearing the flowery shirt. And I think he's Hawaiian or perhaps Samoan or Filipino. He doesn't look Chinese to me, but I could be wrong. The woman next to him, she is supposed to be a Chinese person. Chun-Li, she's another video game character in this awesome video game that is an atrocious movie. Anyways, the bad guys are shipped away. Van Damme dies a hero's death. I mean, we're 15 minutes in and he dies in this movie, right? So it's like, what the hell's going on? Colonel Guile, the leader of the UN army to fight General Bison, is now dead, shot in the gut. Ming Na Wen, I think that's the name of this actress, or might be confusing her with another one. I don't know who this lady is. I just made that up. She's playing Chun-Li, and she's reporting like on CNN or whatever, but she's actually an Interpol agent. She's like, oh, Colonel Guile's dead and everything's ruined and Bison's going to take over. But she has a hunch that something funny is going on. So she's going to go check out what happened to Guile. Well, let me check the chat right here. Joe Musashi says, yes, he's Hawaiian. Honda is supposed to be Japanese. You're right. He's supposed to be Japanese, not Chinese. My bad. It's been a while since I played this game. I do love it. It has a special place in my heart as a kid. You got to understand, Street Fighter 2 blows up, and I'm in like 7th or 8th grade. So you know what that's like already. You're just addicted to action and action movies anyway. And now they have this over-the-top tournament fighting video game that plays like a dream. The controls are awesome. The powers, the moves, the fireballs, the uppercuts. And it was a phenomenon. If you weren't there in the early 90s, you don't know. But it was probably the biggest thing and one of the top 3 or 4 biggest things to ever happen in video gaming, Street Fighter. It was crazy. They made a new Street Fighter 6. It came out last year or the year before. Let's see. In the game, Balrog is the bad guy. He's one of M. Bison's right-hand men. Yeah, so the black guy with the widow's peak there, he's a boxer. And Honda, the Hawaiian Japanese guy, he's a sumo wrestler. And they're super fighter guys too, but they're Interpol agents, I guess, and they're running the surveillance truck. That's what they're inside here. It's a news truck / surveillance truck. Interesting thing about the name of M. Bison, the main villain. Let's show you him real quick. That's Bison, but in the Japanese version, he was Balrog. And in the Japanese version, the boxer, the black guy in the middle, he was M. Bison, like Mike Bison, like Mike Tyson. But in order to not like get sued or get into a lawsuit, they flopped the names in the American version of this. So he ends up being Bison instead of Balrog, and he ends up being Balrog. That was a little thing I learned when I was younger. So Nicholas Hardick is agreeing with me, saying Street Fighter was the #1 thing in gaming in the 90s. Absolutely. And there were so many clones of fighting games for the next like 10 years. You know, there was Tekken, there was Mortal Kombat, there was Killer Instinct. There was just so many things. And the only one that really stood the test of time, I guess, was Mortal Kombat. I never liked it. It always felt very satanic and weird, like evil, demonic, like characters. And like, it felt very grim, Mortal Kombat. So I never liked it. M. Bison in Japanese is Vega. Oh, is that true? Maybe you're right. I thought M. Bison was Mike Bison. That's what I thought it was supposed to be. That's what I had heard. I don't know. You hear a lot of shit on the school bus, right? Either way, they don't know what's going on. Colonel Gao's been killed. She gets in her, it looks a little bit like Arab attire, something my people would wear. And she sneaks into the UN building where there's also a morgue, as we see by the large sign that says morgue. And she goes up to the cold body sitting on a steel table of one Jean-Claude Van Damme, pulls the blanket back and sees him still in his full outfit. They haven't done an autopsy or anything. It's probably only 12 noon. It's probably only been 4 hours have passed since this whole debacle started. She uncovers him, sees his dead body. He has blood all over his gut. She shuts the blanket. She turns around to go, and then he sits up and throws the blanket off. Says, you think, and she's been bothering him for an interview for a while. And he says, you're going to get an interview with me one way or another, huh? Well, I'm not going to allow it. And it's like, why was he laying in the morgue pretending to be dead? And he shows her he had squibs under his shirt, and it wasn't real bullets, and he was faking his own death, I think, to trick the bad guys. I don't understand faking his own death and then laying in the morgue. So maybe this lady would come and see him. That I don't get. I don't understand. I don't understand the logic there. Like, what if she never came? How long were you going to lay there? So to me, that's why this is like a first draft of a movie. If anyone in the audience can explain to me, okay, I could get faking the death to maybe trick the bad guys, your enemies. I don't know to what end. You still have an army to fight them. And they know that if the colonel dies, they'll promote someone else to lead it. But what he just lays in the morgue and then she sneaks in. How did he know she would do that? And how did he know she would get past the guards? And then when she does find him, he doesn't really do anything with her to like further her goals. He just tells the crew there to arrest her. So I'm not sure. This is a first draft. They didn't really think this through when they wrote it. So Alpha Proto says they just did it for the interview line. That's what it seems like. Yeah. Let's see. See, MJ1 Media agrees with me. He says Mike Bison was the original name for the boxer, but American releases changed the names were swapped because they didn't want to risk likeness issues. That's what I think, because Mike Tyson was huge when this game came out. So I think that Mike Bison was, and then they had him in Vegas. Right. So when you played against the boxer and you fought him in the game, his level was Las Vegas. So that all goes with Mike Tyson there because that's where the big fights are. If I wouldn't give you an interview when I was alive, there's no way I'm doing it when I'm dead. That's what he tells her after he sits up. So it's another beauty. And then he tells this guy who's T-Hawk is the name of the character in the video game. He's supposed to be a Native American fighter. He tells him to arrest her. So yeah, it's all making perfect sense right now. So I skipped way ahead on my stuff here. Sorry. Guys, you have to see this movie. It's $3.99 on YouTube. I watched it on double speed to get it over with. Because YouTube allows you to control the speed of the videos. So yeah, if he wasn't going to give her an interview when he was alive, what makes her think he'll give her one when he's dead? So that's just ultra confusing. I don't know what's really going on here. Anyway, there is a big arms deal thing festival. It's kind of like, when you go to like a local fair where there's like a corn dog stand and they bring a monkey, kids can take a picture with the monkey for $1. And there might be a small Ferris wheel or thing like that. There's a similar setup like that. And it's all criminals selling weapons to each other with M. Bison and Sagat, the guy with the eye patch and the crazy guy with the cape. And they're talking and making deals and they're talking about the future. And the news reporter gal, the Interpol agent, there she is, dressed up as a Cirque du Soleil woman. Ken and Ryu, the fake gun runners, who are also good guys, are there. And she's dancing and performing. And the two bad guys are there. And they're ho, 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 and we're going to do this and that. And it's all these criminals that want to sell weapons to Bison. I don't know. Like the scenes in this movie, they don't carry the narrative forward. Like whenever you write something, there should be a point to it. There should be something the characters want, something stopping them getting from what they want, and then how do they navigate that? This scene doesn't seem to really have anything. It's like the bad guys are gonna buy some more weapons from some more bad guys, so they have a festival, like a sort of a carnival atmosphere. It looks like frankly, it looks like a circus. There's like circus tents. That's what everybody's in. It makes no sense. And the good guys are there. They do espionage. They sabotage it, and then they blow it up with a truck full of explosives. That's what's going on here. So I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea what the hell is going on here. But yeah, the good guys get caught right before they do it. The Ken and Ryu characters get caught, and then they find out, oh yeah, we set up a bomb and it's coming in a truck. It's going to blow everything up. And she's on a TV telling it to the bad guys, like, guys, if this doesn't make sense to you, it's not you. It's this movie. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what's happening. That reminds me of my daughter told me once. My daughter's a stand-up comedian. She does great. And she's doing really good. She opened for Steve Byrne on New Year's Eve. And she's going to be going to Texas in a few weeks to do a roast battle there. She got invited out to Dallas to do a roast battle there. She's got more roast battles here, more stand-up. She's doing stand-up a couple nights a week here in San Diego, just killing it. But she said she was at the comedy club in Hollywood one night. And she was waitressing at the Comedy Store because she was a waitress there and a fry cook for a while there back in 2019. And there was like a mom in her like 60s and her son who was like 30. But they had one of those relationships where like, I think he never moved out. And she's the overbearing mother. That's like, oh, mom. And she flagged my daughter down in the comedy club. And she tells my daughter, I know shit. She goes, I can't understand what the comedian is saying. And my daughter's like, I don't know what you want me to do for you. And then the guy she's with is like, Mom, I told you not to do this. I don't know if you heard any of that, but
it was Ma.
When Minnie was a like a fry cook and a waitress at the Comedy Store in Hollywood back in 2019. She lived in Hollywood for a year, right across the street from the CNN building. And but she said one night she was at the comedy club and there was like a mom, the mom and the son that never like go their separate ways, the mama's boy.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's 40 and he lives with his 63-year-old widowed mother, that kind, and she's always nagging him and yelling at him. Yeah. You have a girl in there. She said she was at the comedy club, serving chicken fingers and whatnot. And this lady flags her down and she tells my daughter, I can't understand what the comedian is saying. And then her son is like, Mom. And my daughter's like, I don't know what you want me to do for you. Like,
yeah, you want to go, hey man, I need you to be clearer. The lady over there, that one lady with her son that's too fucking attached to her, she can't understand you. Yeah. Oh shit. Well, let me customize it for that weird ass lady.
I had a theory that I spoke to someone about, and I want to get your input on this. You have a boob man or a butt man, right? You fall in either camp, right? Mm-hmm. I had a theory that the boob men were mama's boys. Think little booby time, little milky wilky, go nappy time. That's what I think it is.
Because you could be, let's say you're an ass guy. You do have respect for the titties, though.
Oh, of course. They're 1A. It's right? 1 and 1A. Like, come on.
And vice versa, if you're a titty guy, you respect the ass too. That may not be your favorite cut. Boys,
that's my.
That might not be your favorite cut of meat. Like you might like a ribeye, but if I throw down a good New York in front of you, you respect it, right?
I prefer the ribeye, but I've had some New Yorks that were fantastic.
See, you respect the other cuts,
right?
That's
tenderloin.
What I'm saying.
Now, if you tell me your favorite steak is tenderloin, I know that you don't eat much steak.
Then we need to.
It's the basic bitch steak. The tenderloin.
Well, we need to. That's why you need to grab the doll and show me where you were touched on the doll, because something happened to you if you're a tenderloin is your favorite steak.
Yeah, the filet mignon, guys, don't order filet mignon. It's embarrassing. That's not a good steak. Yes, it's super tender, and it has no fat. It has no connective tissue. Therefore, it has no flavor. It's not a good steak.
Nah, that's for the ladies.
Why do you think they cover it in butter and crab and blue cheese? And what do you think they get? It's an apology because it doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah, a filet, I mean, it is a very tender cut of meat. And if I happen to go to somebody's house and I get there, I'm like, oh shit, they're having fillets for dinner. I'm not mad at it. But would I ever order one? No.
It's not bad, but it's horrible. It becomes bad when I remember that ribeyes exist. See, if the ribeye didn't exist, then the filet is awesome.
But if you're already there and you're staring down the barrel of some filet mignons on the grill when you show up, you're gonna eat them and you'll probably enjoy yourself.
You better have some sauce though, because
you'll enjoy it. There are worse cuts of meat out there.
Yeah,
you'll enjoy it. But if he said, "Hey, I got a ribeye over here in New York and a filet," you're not gonna say, "Hey, give me that. Hey, give me the filet. What do you say? Let's lay by the bay and play with some clay." Hey,
I was at this Mexican grocery store on Sunday, and they had chuck roll for like, I don't know, $3.99 a pound, and it's like tough chuck steak, but they had it cut super thin, and it was super fatty. Took a pound of it home. It was so good. Got lucky on what's usually tough meat. It was delicious.
It was flat iron steak. That's my new favorite too.
That's a good one. Yeah. Okay, the ribeye has the big eye, and then it has the rib cap. Yeah. The rib cap is the best piece of meat on the animal. The rib cap is insane. That rib piece that's on the ribeye. Oh my God, so good.
Yep.
Look at this. He says, I never got breastfed. My mom would just tease me and put it away. What the hell, dude?
From Loaded Weapon 1. You ever
I've never seen
one?
Loaded Weapon, no.
Oh, man, it's a spoof on, Emilio Estevez, Samuel L. Jackson, they're Riggs and Murtaugh, and it's a spoof on, like cop action movies and shit, but man, it is hilarious. And I think William Shatner is the bad guy.
Okay. Sounds interesting. Could you make heads or tails of this scene? The bad guys are all like gun running and trading bombs and missiles and weapons, but it like takes place at a circus.
Yeah, it's like a fucking bazaar or some shit. Because I guess out front is kind of like Enter the Dragon. When the first night they get there for the fight, there's no fighting. It's just dancers and jugglers and court jesters and shit running around. I think that's kind of what's going on there. And then in the back room, that's where they got the shady gun dealing, gun running going on. So I think out front is just like a party. Yeah. Because this is Southeast Asia, so maybe there's some of that really old cultural festival shit going on there. But even still, there's all of this happens inside of a fucking rhinoceros turd of a movie.
So now it's evening of the first day. Let's keep track if they can get this right.
Night number 1.
Right. Michael Coulter says, Gabe, I wonder if your daughter knows Chrissy Mayr. Yeah, they've spoken. Chrissy Mayr did just have a baby, but I'm friendly with Chrissy Mayr. She follows me on Twitter. I follow her and all that. I think my daughter and her, they all follow each other on Instagram. So yes, I'm have my daughter talk to her. But I always tell my daughter to be a go-getter. Go ask people. Like Jay Moore and Adam Kroll are going to be here this Saturday at the Belly Up Tavern here in San Diego in Solana Beach. They're going to do a 2-man show. And I told my daughter, tweet at them and see if they'll let you open, because that's how she got the Steve Byrne thing. Dean Cain is friends with Steve Byrne. And I told him, hey, will you ask Steve if Minnie can open up for him on New Year's? And he let her the early show. And she killed. So he invited her to do the midnight New Year's show. It was awesome. And she's done that before with one of the guys from Kill Tony. I forget his name. But she just messaged him on Instagram and said, hey, can I open for you? I tell you, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. You got to just ask. Yeah. When my daughter was in high school, I think it was 2014, Jay Moore came to San Diego to do his sports radio show from a San Diego radio studio because he was doing comedy here that night instead of doing it up in LA. I texted his producer and said, can I come and sit in studio with you? I love Jay Moore. He's hilarious. So he let us come, me, and I took my daughter out of school, and we came in, and this is 14. So she's only like 17 years old. We had to sit there for 3 hours, watch Jay Moore do amazing improv comedy on the radio. And then we would hang out and talk during the breaks on radio. It was really fun. And he talked with her and told her, gave her advice about what to do for comedy and this and that. And I always tell people, like, in the age of social media, just reach out. The worst they could do is say no. Just reach out to people. And it's worked for her. And she's getting real far in it. I'm really happy for her. I don't know if while you were gone, Jericho, a Texas Comedy Club is having her out to do a roast battle like in 2-3 weeks. So she's going out to Dallas.
Man. That's nice.
Yeah. So it's growing. Good. It's working. Yeah. And I'll just tell her, just have a good time. Do your best,
Yeah, it's like hot chicks. So many people are intimidated to talk to them that probably nobody ever talks to them. So hit them up. How many people are doing thinking that, well, it won't happen or they don't know who I am. Fuck that. Say something.
See, here's Minnie and Steve Byrne on New Year's at the American Comedy Club downtown San Diego.
Yeah, he's hilarious, man. I've been watching him for like 20 years. That dude's so funny. I remember in high school, we was at a track invitational on a Saturday, and Roger Craig was there, and he was talking to a girl. All my buddies, oh, I don't want to go talk to him, man. Oh no, man, I don't want to bother him. But I was like, dude, when's the next time you're gonna run into Roger, Hall of Fame, 3 Super Bowl ring, Craig, man, I said, you guys stay here. I'm going to talk to him. I look behind me and everybody's following me. So I went up to him. I was like, hey, Mr. Craig, how are you? I don't mean to bother you, but can I get your autograph? I still have the visor that he autographed for me in my like senior year of high school. So fuck that. Go talk to him. Shit, you never know.
You're gonna, I mean, there's nothing more costly than regret. You know, just do it. That job you want to quit and get the new one, that woman you want to talk to, do it. You're gonna, I think about this all the time, and I tell people this all the time. This is your one life. Your one life. As far as we know, no one has come back. You know, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let another fucking moment go by where you're not living your life. You know what I mean? Be a good person, obviously. I'm not encouraging you to rob a bank. That's not what I've been worried about robbing this bank, Jericho. But Gabe said,
yeah, he said, fucking do it, man. So
the caveat to what I'm saying is morality. You know, doing it with responsibility. But yes, live your life. Another Miser says, listen to Adam Carolla's day trying to get away from the fires. It's pretty scary for him. Yeah, dude, I love the Ace Man. I've been a fan of his since '98. I started listening to him on Loveline.
Yep.
And
that was crazy.
He's been bitching and complaining about California politics his entire career on the air, about what a piece of shit the LA city government is. And it's infuriating because LA should be like San Diego. It should be like Laguna Beach and Newport Beach and all the Huntington Beach. It should be like all the awesome cities in Orange County, San Juan Capistrano. It should be like Santa Barbara. LA is an open sewer because of the far left weirdos that have been running it for decades. And that's the infuriating part of what LA should be. And then at the macro scale, the same goes for California. As nice as San Diego and Orange County are, what this state should be compared to what it is, it's not a fifth of, not like one scintilla of its potential.
That's what it is, the potential. It's expectation. That's what hurts people so much. That's what hurts Californians so much is the expectation. California can't and was so much more. It's not like this is some unrealized potential we've never seen. California used to really be the golden state. We used to have free healthcare in California. We had such a surplus in our budget that we were able to afford free healthcare for our citizens. Imagine that, a state that can give its people free healthcare.
Well, you can get free healthcare here now if you're an illegal. And I'm
that's
not
the
kidding.
thing. That's the
kidding.
thing. I know, and that's the sad part. But for those of us who are unfortunate enough to be born inside of these borders, we've seen great things come from California. We used to have Republican governors in California, real ones, not like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but real ones. So California has been great before, and to see what it's turned into, to see the fucking slum, the festering wound that it's become, if you're anywhere near the coast, is an absolute
This
shame.
is like California in general is like someone who was amazing when you knew them in high school and college. And now you run into them in their 40s and they're just a fucking slob. They're still like partying and trying drugs and they're always broke.
Oh, they have no front teeth.
They got to borrow somebody's car from somebody's uncle and they're always figuring, Adam Carolla had this funny thing about, someone's job sucks when you ask them what they do. And instead of just saying their job, the sentence starts with right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
He says, because no one says, well, right now I'm the president of Bolivia. Nobody says that.
It's true.
Right now I'm the head of Paramount Pictures. Right now.
But I don't plan to be. I plan to be the janitor.
When your job sucks, the sentence will start with right now. So
it's absolutely terrible, man, to see. You ever seen somebody you haven't seen in a long time and it's such a drastic change that when you first lay eyes on them, you get goosebumps? Like maybe they've lost a bunch of weight, or they're like a drug addict now with no front teeth and you didn't even recognize them, and you get goosebumps. That's what California is. That's what we used to be. Things used to be cheap here. Gas and property used to be cheap. I remember it as a kid.
Like the most American of American states because it was like a pioneer frontier land of opportunity. It still had a lot of that Wild West. I mean, yes, it's the beach in California. That's a slim margin of it. This is the West. This is the same spirit of the pioneers and the cowboys. That was all out here too. Those kind of people come out here with a donkey and your wife and a couple shovels and stake a claim. That's what California is. There's gold mining and cowboys, all that here. People coming here and making all that farmland out of wild land in there. All the people coming out in the gold rush in the 1800s. We'll leave Europe and just come here and look for gold. Maybe it'll work. Like just such hopeful, daring people, the most American kind of mentality. Come here, make it happen.
Yeah.
Now it's
stake
like,
your
come
claim.
here, get on the fucking government tit and smoke weed and wear your fucking pajamas in public.
Yeah, and kill your babies whenever
Right.
you want. Yeah, wear your dirty, filthy ass pajamas out in public. That shit drives me nuts.
It's
You
so
look
gross.
dirty. You look dirty. You look like you don't wash your ass and you don't brush your teeth. That shit looks so fucking nasty and unkept. And it's even more disgusting with women. You look like your vagina is dirty. Like you don't take care of it. Like you just rolled out of bed. You're holding your knees together so it doesn't run out. And then you came out in public. You're disgusting.
Remember that lady I flew on the airplane next to and she stunk like old gym mats and then she started eating a big smelly summer sausage next to me?
That's what she probably smelled like, a fucking summer sausage. Get out of here with pajama bottoms. That would be the first thing I did as King Jericho, is if you step out, if you go past the end of your driveway in fucking pajamas, you will be tackled and arrested.
You know what we would have?
Shit.
We would have guys that had giant butterfly nets. They would just catch people in their pajamas.
Yeah. Yeah, they catch you with the butterfly net, and then another guy runs up with a belt folded in half, and he just whoops your ass until you get back in the house. How about that?
Maybe the truck for the pajama patrol has a Stopey water-filled cannon on top to wash these filthy degenerates.
Yeah. Like enough pressure to make you do a fucking somersault backwards.
But we're merciful. It's not cold water. It's nice and warm. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. You piece of shit. Get back in the house. Now, if you're going out there to grab a newspaper or even take the trash can to the end of the driveway, it's all good. Stay on your property line.
My wife
But if you fucking go out in public to the store or down the street, no, you're susceptible to punishment.
My wife and I saw the most disgusting one-night stand thing at a donut shop early on a Saturday morning by my house. We went to this donut shop Saturday morning early. Let's get some donuts for the family. In front of us is a hoochie mama. And she's like a white lady with two white little boys. And she's with like a Filipino guy buying donuts. Clearly, these are not his children at all. Like at all. You could tell. So this is a hookup from the night before. Let's go get some donuts. Then I'm going to get out of here and never call you again. That's not the bad part. What she was wearing was like a dirty t-shirt. And then she had like hoochie shorts on, but they were riding low in the back so you could see her underwear. And she didn't have underwear. She had a bikini bottom.
Oh, yeah.
This lady had no clean laundry. So she put on a bikini bottom under her filthy shorts and her dirty shirt and flip-flops, her messy little kids. I feel sorry for those kids. And this guy who banged her last night, he just feels guilty. So he's going to buy her and her brat some donuts. Then he's going to hightail it out of there.
Dude, you know, those kids fell asleep with a pillow wrapped around their ears because they heard mom getting fucking drilled. That's disgusting.
It was me and my wife were standing behind him in line, just looking at this lady's bikini coming out of her shorts. Like, that was a choice.
I saw a video once where this girl, she had a couple of her friends stay the night, and she's like high school, like 15, 16 years old. And she had her phone and she's recording, and you could hear her mom getting blown out by her stepdad. And it was like so loud. Like her mom was like so fucking loud. And it was in her room. You could hear like the bed going up against the wall. I'm like, dude, that's a form of child molestation.
Yeah, what are you
doing, man? Oh my God. Like, I understand.
$20 and tell them to go to the damn movies.
Yeah, but I mean, even if it's late at night, you know, whatever, and you guys want to get it in, it is your house. But fucking tone it down. I mean, it was over the top, bed banging on the wall, her mom screaming. I was like, that is absolutely disgusting. Both of those people need to get fucking paintballs to
They need the butterfly net and the hose. We should just enact that for everybody. Everybody acting up, you're getting the hose.
No, I think paintball guns. Dude, you ever been paintballing?
Yes, I've been paintballing.
Man.
My dad has a couple acres out in Colorado, and we paintballed in his giant field. He has a field that's mostly empty. It's got wheat in it. Then it had some broken pallets and lockers from a country club. He just had some junk in his field. So it was good to like hide in and play paintball. So me and my cousin and my brother, just three men is death match, everybody for themselves. And I was in cover. I saw my cousin. I come out to shoot, and then I'm running to get away, and he shoots at me, and it slices. You know, a golf ball will slice, or a field goal and football will slice. And I watch this thing for like 40 yards slice and come back, and it hits me right in the nipple. and it's like 20 degrees out, clear skies,
Oh.
but right in the nipple in the freezing weather. I was like, ah.
Dude, if you've ever been shot with a paintball, then you know that that's a great punishment for someone coming out in public, because that shit.
And here's another one.
hurts.
In that same match, I got into the pallets and the locker area. I was hiding, and my brother's coming by some, broken trees and stumps, and it's pretty good cover we had to fight each other. And I get the drop on my brother. I jump around. I think I told you this before. Point the gun right at him from 3 feet away, and mine jams.
Oh.
And he just like looks at me in the face. And I'm wearing the giant goggles to protect my eyes.
Yeah.
But there's the skin right here below your hat. He shoots me like 3 times right in the forehead as I'm like, the first one hits me, so it stuns me, and I start to fall to the ground. And he gives me like 2 more right in the forehead. Only your brother can do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got hit right in the fucking goggles. Boom. And I got hit in my hand, when you're in front of the trigger guard. Like, man, fucking the body, paintballs.
But did you get hit in 20-degree weather?
No, it was actually
worse.
June.
It
was
just
June in Colorado.
Stings when it's cold like that.
Oh man, I'm sure. But getting hit with a paintball, whew. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
down.
yeah, that's the rules. When Jericho's king and I'm his main henchman, I'll be your right-hand henchman. I'll be in charge of the trucks with the warm soapy water.
Yeah, you'll be the Che Guevara to my Fidel Castro.
Right. And I want 700,000 a year like the lady in California in charge of water.
No problem. We'll make it 700 million a year.
Where
California, who gives a fuck?
Fuck do they get that number from, by the way?
700
in charge of the water stuff for the city. So it's $750,000?
Yep.
Based on what?
The fire chief makes 650,000. The assistant makes 510. The head of recruiting makes over 325,000. I'm not sure. Hey, I know, and you got to go to school and all that kind of stuff, but they're making more than fucking heart surgeons.
Yeah, they're making more than most people. Way more
like
than
a neurosurgeon. This dude has those weird goggle things on because he's doing brain surgery on an infant inside the womb, and these fools are just fucking eating vagina and hanging off the back of a fire truck. Hey.
I'll tell you though, that LA Fire Department, they could feel the hell of a softball team, dude.
Yeah, they dominate. They're state champs.
And
3 years running.
You ever need a Subaru? We got.
Yeah, if your Subaru's making weird noises or the lights are coming on the dashboard, just have one of them come over. They're gonna go down on you, but they'll fix it.
Hey, nothing's free. Let me go to the kitchen and fill. I have an invisible water bottle tonight. It's green in my green screen. Let me refill this. I'll be back in like 30, 40 seconds. So they just blew up the terrorist gun running deals. The good guys blew it up with a truck of explosives. As they say in French, je vais retourner. I'll be back.
The truck of explosives was from Chung Lee. So she tapped into their TV frequency or whatever. So now her face is on all the screens and they can't unjam the signal. And she says, "Good evening, fellas. I am Chung Lee and blah, blah, blah. General Bison, there's a truck headed towards you guys right now. It's going to explode and kill you all. Goodbye." So dumb. How about you don't say anything and you just let the truck crash through there and blow up everybody and kill it? But since you said something, now they have time to run and everybody's lives are saved. You dumbass. So they are now prisoners of Bison, and he's taking them back to his lair, and he's going to separate everybody and torture them and find out what the fuck they know. So as far as Chung Lee, E Honda, and Balrog, that little group, that little contingent. So Ken and Ryu, they've ingratiated themselves with Bison via Sagat. So now he's showing them around and showing, now you're part of the family. So we're going to get you guys in uniform. And then that's when they come out in the signature red gi with the sleeves cut off and the white gi for Ryu with the sleeves cut off. Again, the guy who plays Ryu, you can see, you saw in the earlier scene where he was in the cage with Vega and the ring girl ripped his shirt off. See, the dude's yoked up. He got muscles. He obviously has some martial arts training. But Ken, and you've seen that guy in tons of movies and stuff. He was Miklo in Blood In, Blood Out.
Right.
But he's fucking terrible for this role. You couldn't get a muscular white dude with blonde hair to play Cain. We're not talking, they're not reading Shakespeare here. It's a fucking video game movie. That pissed me off so much that you couldn't even get, this is a fighting movie. It's called Street Fighter. So everybody in Street Fighter should be able to fight. So why is Chun-Li, why does she, it looks like she knows a little something. She might be a yellow belt or some shit. E Honda, he don't do shit. Balrog, you've seen him other shit. He's obviously just an actor. Like, he doesn't have any athletic ability. Fucking Ken and Ryu, they look like regular dudes. Man, fuck that. That pissed me off so bad. They could have done so much better with the casting.
Bert and Ernie said Ken and Ryu. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's so stupid. They're like, Ryu's a little, and he's yoked up, but come on, man. Like, what the fuck? You could have went to some karate tournament in like Pasadena and got two guys that could have played those roles and actually done martial arts and can say a few fucking lines. Man.
Hey, speaking of meeting guys in Pasadena, Sergeant Slaughter from G.I. Joe and wrestling, he's going to be up right past Disneyland this weekend. Maybe I should go meet him and get his autograph.
Yeah, that'd be
he
cool.
He followed me on Twitter like 3 months ago, so that was fun.
Sergeant Slaughter, he's a shit.
Yeah, so maybe I'll go up, make the hour drive up past Disneyland and go meet him. Go get his autograph.
Sergeant Slaughter on Double Impact. That'd be the shit.
That'd be fantastic, dude.
Tell some WWF stories, not WWE.
We're going to get Hogan on. Here's my plan to get Hulk Hogan on. Tyrus is my buddy, and I'm making a comic book with Tyrus, and I'm sure Tyrus knows Hulk Hogan. So I'll have to find a way to bring that up. That's, polite, not intrusive, not demanding, but hopefully Tyrus can help bridge that gap. We'll have to get Tyrus on here eventually when I have more of the comic done. I think when I have about 30 pages, pencil ink colored letter, like finished, I'll start doing some more promotion. But right now I want to focus on Empyrean and some other stuff. The Tyrus book is more like a summer thing. So, but yeah, I'd love to find a way to get Hogan on here. That'd be great.
That'd be the shit, man.
We probably shouldn't do the impression for him.
Oh, I'm doing it. I'm fucking doing it. But no, I met him before. I seriously doubt.
That's right. You met him at the radio
fucking
station.
Remembers, but
you walked him to the bathroom and then realized you shouldn't go in with him at the last minute.
I mean, I'm a fan, but I'm not going to touch his dick.
You weren't going to shake it off for him?
No, come on, Hulkster, please. Come on, please. All right, brother. Shake it, brother. But that would be cool to tell him.
Anything more than 2 shakes means you're playing with it.
Dude. But it would be cool to tell him the story of meeting him. He might recollect the trip itself because he went with his daughter. So maybe, he'll remember that. But he's like, oh my God, yeah, I remember you. Right.
The character who was Sawada, I don't know who Sawada is in this movie. It was who Capcom wanted to play Ryu. Capcom used him in their Street Fighter game commercials in Japan, but they cast the other guy, so he was cast as Colonel Sawada as a pity role. Is Colonel Sawada the overweight Chinese guy?
That guy?
I don't know who Colonel Sawada is. I know there's like a high-ranking guy that's sort of.
Well, that's supposed to be E Honda, right? Isn't it?
I don't know.
Fuck this movie.
This fucking movie. So, anyways, they're gonna make their plan of attacking Shadaloo City and stopping M. Bison, and it's about as intelligent as you would imagine. They're going to send an army from the north, but that's way later. We'll get to that.
Don't worry. Unfortunately, we're going to get to that.
Right. So all the good guys except Van Damme are captured at M. Bison's base, right? Chun-Li, Honda, Balrog, they're there. And there's a scene where Honda, our large Hawaiian friend, is getting whipped by a torture guy.
Yeah.
There's like a torture chamber.
And he says, this is how we treat foreigners in Shadaloo. But that was a big white guy, like a big German dude.
Yeah.
Shadaloo is in Southeast Asia.
Heinrich von Klippen. This is how we treat foreigners in Shadaloo City.
Yeah.
Yes,
was that?
Yes, I'm from Thailand. How can you tell? My father and mother and my father's father, they're all from Thailand. It's like you don't look Thai. You don't sound Thai.
Yeah, you guys sure got a lot of beer around here. A lot of fucking beer and sauce.
Oh, I like Papa music. Do you like it?
Do you like the polka music? Yeah. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Fun fact for those of you that don't know a lot about Mexicans. Did you know that ranchero music, the Mexican music you hear, is just German music, because there were many German immigrants, over 100 years ago down in Mexico, and they had a culture of beer, and they also had their music. And that's why if you're in a Mexican neighborhood or you live next door to some Mexican party people, you will hear late at night on Friday and Saturday, and you think it's Mexican ranchero music, but it's actually German papa music, and it's been adapted to be Mexican. So that's an interesting thing. Also, one other fun fact about Mexico: my favorite taco is the al pastor. That means the sheep herder's taco, the herder, because a pastor is like a sheep herder. And let me see, I have this right here. That is an Arab taco, because that's like a gyro. You know how they spin the meat on that spinning grill with the fire on one side? That's actually Arabian. And the pastor were the Arabs that immigrated to Mexico like 100, 200 years ago. And they did their spit style meat where it's spinning like that. So now you know some useless information about Mexican stuff.
Take that to your next dinner party.
Yeah. Tell that to your high society friends.
See what they think of that. Dinner party, you motherfuckers.
But if you're wondering what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that al pastor, it's this thing here. Let me bring up a photo. Do you like this kind of taco? It's marinated pork with pineapple.
It's some sweet.
And that's it right there. You see that? And it's spinning in front of a fire there on the left. It's like vertically on a pole, and it's spinning meat. And
it's bathing in its own juices.
It spins on a pole for 2 songs, and you have to throw dollars at it.
You got to jam $1 in between the folds.
All right, coming to the main stage, guys. It's El Pastor. Put your hands together.
Try not to stick your fingers in it, fellas.
Yeah, but that's my favorite kind of Tijuana street taco is the El Pastor. So that was a video I made the other day. So yeah, it's like shawarma, and it comes from the Arab tradition of doing shawarma like that. And so yeah, Rolo, who knows much about Southern California and recommended a taco place to me in Rosarito or Ensenada. I don't remember. It's in the comments though on another post I had. I'll have to check that out. I am a connoisseur of tacos. I think I've switched, Jericho. My favorite food has long been pizza. I made my wife made pizza. I made the dough on Saturday, and then we made a bunch of pizzas on Sunday when my Denver Broncos were humiliated because the Buffalo Bills used the Baltimore Ravens ball running strategy and ratcheted it up to the nth degree. Anyway, but we made pizzas to watch the football game together, and they were delish. But I think tacos have now passed pizza for me. A good Mexican street taco. I think it has.
So that's a pretty long-standing relationship that you're just going to throw away, huh?
I'll still see pizza. I'll still see pizza behind tacos back.
Yeah, but pizza was there through all the shit.
Taco's going to tell me, I thought you said it was over with pizza.
Yeah, but pizza, every time you go to drop off the kids at Pizza's house, what happens?
Yeah, you still have Pizza's number in your phone, you asshole.
You end up fucking
liar,
pizza.
you manipulator.
Would that be, I mean, I guess technically it would be, but let's say, in an alternate universe, Adrian, this isn't real, but in an alternate universe, you were married to a woman for say 26, 27 years.
28 and a half.
Kids, 28 and a half years, just pulling a random number.
Yeah, random number, 28 and a half so far.
28 and a half years, kids, home, business, the whole nine of life, whatever that entails, a life.
Yeah.
But you guys split up.
Whoa.
But let's say the kids are still, they're under 18.
Okay.
So, but you guys have, had, let's say 20 plus years of marriage. You were married a few years before the kids. And now you guys still have to deal with each other for the kids.
Okay.
And so once a week, you drop the kids off over at her house.
All right.
So would it be cheating on your new spouse or your new girlfriend, or say new spouse?
Was it a spouse or it is a girlfriend? Those are very different things.
That's true. I would say
if there's no ring, it's no ring.
But then that takes away, that lowers the stakes of the question.
Okay, well, ask it the way you want to ask it, because I already know what you're going to ask. So just ask.
So, let's say your new spouse, would that be cheating on her?
Of course it would.
But
of course it would.
But you've only been married to this woman for like a year.
Yeah,
and
married.
Your former wife. Well, see, if it's not the wife, then I know what you're going to say. You're gonna say if she's just my girlfriend.
Well, like what kind of a girlfriend? Someone I'm seeing, or is like my girlfriend? Like, okay,
Well, she's your girlfriend. She's your
well,
girlfriend.
then that's cheating too, because it's your girlfriend.
But do you hear that inflection in your voice? Well, that's cheating too, because it sounds like a butt was going to be in there. But you have this whole life and these things, these lives you created with your ex-wife,
right?
And is it cheating if when you go over there sometimes, it's familiar, you know it.
You're way around the territory.
You do. So
yeah.
Is it cheating though, or will you guys always? Is it one of those you'll always have that because of the kids? You'll always have that connection, so you'll always have that. You can never wash that love off of you completely. You can never get rid of that stain on your clothing, if you will, because of that connection. So this girlfriend
is the hypothetical ex-wife also married to a new husband?
No, but let's say she has a boyfriend too. You're both committed. You're both in committed relationships.
You can't be doing stuff like this, Jericho. This is how you get in big trouble.
I'm just saying.
Don't give me that smirk.
But I mean, are you as afraid of that trouble because this is your ex-wife? You were married for 20 years.
Here's the thing. You drop the kids off and you don't step foot in that house. You stand on the front step and you don't go in. You don't hug her by. You don't do anything that could provoke anything.
But Dad, I got a new pet snake. I want
you bring him outside. I'm sure he needs some sunlight.
No, I want you to come see it. So you come in the house. Now you're in. So now maybe you've technically cheated already since you're in there. And she's doing laundry or whatever. So she's around the house. So maybe she's not.
Yeah, this is too much. I got to bring in an expert. Here. Okay. Welcome to the show, Steven, the leader of Steven and the Bear Claws.
No, we're not talking about guitar riffs here.
No, it's not. I'm talking about a love riff, Jericho. Now, in this scenario, I divorced Kelly LeBrock, and we have kids, and I go and drop them off. And then I have a new committed girlfriend, perhaps another martial arts star. And you're asking me if I would make love to Kelly LeBrock only to go home and feign innocence to my new committed girlfriend. Is that what you're asking me?
Well, I wasn't asking you, and I don't want you in this.
What you should be asking me.
I'm not sure why.
Would I play a guitar solo for Kelly LeBrock still? Her favorite ones. She loved all the riffs I would do.
No, but she didn't like the punches. See, if it was just the riffs, I'm sure you guys probably be together, but it's the left and right hooks that she was having a problem with.
Those records are sealed.
Are they? Because I know what went on. I know why she left. I think it'll take more than a riff to get her back, don't you think?
I'm insulted that you would even ask me if I would dishonor myself by committing an infidelity with the mother of my children.
But I don't know why you're here. That's my thing. I didn't ask. I was asking Gabe. I didn't ask you. I didn't say Steven Seagal 3 times in a mirror. So I don't know.
Gabe called me to come in and field the question.
Oh, I don't know why he would do that. Well,
that's not true, Jericho. I did not call you, Steven.
I was going to say maybe Gabe and I need to rethink this whole friendship thing we got going on. Because
someone named Gabe called me.
If he's going to go off and invite you, well, that's going to be a problem, right?
I do know a lot of Gabes. It could have been a different friend.
Maybe, but I want to get.
Gabriel Byrne, the actor.
No, but I do want to get to the part where
me neither.
Right? I want to get to the part where you go home. So how can we do that?
Oh well, am I going home to my girlfriend or going to the home of my ex-wife to make love to her?
Just go to a home and get out of this one is what I'm trying
now
to say.
Now that I've thought about it, I would make love to her and then play her favorite guitar solo. But would I play the guitar solo before we make love or after?
Well, if you want to make love to her, I would save that for after.
I could do it during.
Well, I think that would definitely dry up her vagina, so don't do that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, good point. So anyway,
it's 2025. Happy New Year, and I hope you had a great Kwanzaa, Jericho. I know that's very important to you.
Yeah, you know a lot. See ya.
Okay. All right, then. So I'm ready for the guitar solo. Are you ready?
No. Practice it by yourself for 20 years, and then
you told me 2025 was the year I could do this.
No, I said the end of 2025 we would talk about it again.
I mean, is there really a difference between the beginning and the end? It's all 1 year.
Or is it? But there's a pretty big difference between the beginning and end of anything.
All right.
So,
Well, I'll
so
keep
yeah.
practicing. And
Yeah.
for
Don't
the
come back
record,
until December of 2025.
okay, I'll be ready with my triple-sized guitar solo. And I'll bring Kelly in too. I think Kelly wants to
Please
come in.
bring her in. Tell her to put a steak over her eye.
All right. All right. Namaste. Namaste.
Yeah.
Oh, the great Steven Seagal, everyone.
Oof. Great at something. Great at those movies in the 90s. But that's about it.
Oh man. Yeah, he's something else.
Yeah, he is. He's a trip.
So I guess he would make love to the ex-wife.
I mean, what if you catch her at you know how it is with your wife? You catch her at the right angle and it's over for her.
You catch your wife sometimes. I mean, she's always gorgeous. Every once in a while, you'll catch her at an angle like, damn, that's why I talked to you.
Right?
That's
So
why I
what if you
went up
catch
and
her-
talked to you.
What if you catch her at that angle, catch her, in your alma mater's t-shirt, while she's coming out of the laundry room? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were going to be here. And then, wow, you're muted, dude.
Oh, I tapped the front of the mic by accident.
There you go.
She's got a Denver Broncos Bo Nix jersey on.
See?
Wait
And
a
then
minute.
you're
Now,
powerless.
hold on. Do you really want to make it with a woman while she's wearing the jersey of a man that you like?
Well, we can get that's an easy fix.
That's a little confusing.
That's an easy fix. Let's go ahead and get that off of you. There you go. Problem solved. But then now we're in deeper trouble now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Now she has nothing on. And what are you going to do?
You're going to turn around and walk out that door. You're going to go home to your loving
not.
new wife.
No, your girlfriend. She's a girlfriend. You haven't put a ring on it yet. You know what you're going to do. You know exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah. It's best not to go in there. Because
at this point, your ears are ringing like the opening scene in Saving Private Ryan after that fucking mine goes off. Whee! You can't hear shit. You're all discombobulated.
Oh, you hear one thing though. You hear that voice, your friend's voice, your friend that gets you in trouble.
And he reaches over and turns down the power source to the upstairs brain. And he is in control. Controls now.
No, I had an idea. It's like you have the same fucking idea every time I talk to you.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, eh?
Hey, I'm the best there is at what I do.
The best of the best. And then, he leaves and you're like, what? Too late now.
Yeah.
Too late. So, yeah.
And he's just laughing down there, too.
It's like, you dumbass.
He's telling your balls, this fucking moron. He's in so much trouble.
Fucking time, this Mama Luke falls for this shit every time. Hey, fuck, I'm not gonna do nothing. Fucking guy.
He's like Charlie Brown with that football.
He fucking tries to kick it every fucking time, and then the dog, he moves and then he falls right on his ass.
Yep, that's the tyranny of lust, as Plato put it.
And I'm willing to walk right into it.
So anyway, Ken and Ryu, who are the main good guys from the game, are somehow now in league with the bad guys because they're undercover Interpol agents, I guess, posing as gun runners.
Good bad guys. Good bad.
So they're going to join the bad guy army. They go to the weight room with punching bags and some posters.
A locker. They walk through a bunch of rooms. But it's one big open room. And they're like saying to the guys, hey, go Bison. Yeah, all hail Bison.
Yeah.
Hey, nice gear. All this shit.
So then,
being little jackass.
So the bad guys are getting ready. The good guys are getting ready. And Van Damme is there to address his hundreds of not physically fit soldiers that they're about to storm Shadaloo City and destroy Bison. And a UN official gets out of like a Mercedes or a Rolls Royce.
AN official, Allied Nations.
AN, the Allied Nations instead of the United Nations, because why would you use United Nations?
They probably wanted to cut from the movie. They're like, fuck that. We'll go Allied.
I don't think they can charge. I think you could just say government stuff and they can't. You're just writing a story. Like when The Rock.
Why wouldn't they?
When The Rock did his TV show Ballers about the NFL, he did not get permission or pay royalties to the NFL. You don't have to. That's not how the law works. What you can't do, like, because they'll like fake Coca-Cola in the movie. You don't have to do that. You can show real brand names. The way you get sued, I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. This is my understanding of what I've been told since I work in comic books and publishing. This is what I've been told and seen. I can have Coca-Cola in my comic books and movies and just show it, and I don't have to tell Coke, I don't have to give them any money. What I can't do is have a plot where I say, all Coca-Cola is poison, never drink it. I can't do that because then they could sue me. So what I just said, I disavow that. That isn't true. That was just an example of what you can't do. So,
Well, then why wouldn't they just go UN? Why
I don't know. Like when they do the shit in the movie, they go 555-1212, the phone number. Like, thanks for reminding me that I'm watching a movie. Thank you. I'm watching a movie. Thank you very much.
Dude, every TV show, every movie is
555.
Every single one. But this is another shit scene. You can see the German flag there, even though the guy.
Yeah, everyone has the flag of their nation on their shoulder. This bureaucrat comes up and says, you know what? I know you hastily stacked these boxes of ammunition and landmines behind you, and you're standing up here in gear that doesn't even match in colors, green vests, but blue suits.
Yep.
You're about to go attack Shadaloo City in a bunch of Zodiac speedboats, inflatable boats. But guess what? The United Nations, or the Allied Nations, has called it off.
Yeah.
You're
And that's the stuffy suit that represents upper management who's out of touch, who's just a pencil pusher, and they're all numbers to them.
Right.
He comes and says, I'm sorry to inform you, but the war has been canceled. I want you to deliver these lines to your troops right now, and then I will accept your resignation.
If someone ever talks to me like that, I would demand they use the word indubitably when they talk to me.
I'm not doing anything you say until you say indubitably.
Indubitably.
Indubitably, sir.
All right.
Like, all right, I'll do it.
I have to do that laugh at the end too.
And the laugh, do it. I don't want to do it. Thank you. Now I'll do it. So he tells him, yeah, basically you're going to deliver this speech to your troops and then you're fucking fired.
Right. And they're going to pay Bison's ransom. And he says, if you give him the 20 billion, what's stopping you from kidnapping more people? And he asks for 50 billion, 100 billion. Who's Bison think he is? Ukraine?
Yeah, well, the difference is Bison would have to ask. Ukraine does not. We will gladly bend over and spread our distended financial anus for Ukraine.
What is with the description there, dude?
I like to paint a picture. And they can get in there and root around and take out whatever money they want. So yeah, he's telling them that, yeah, we're going to capitulate. We're going to give him what he wants. And then you guys go home.
Right. So the Bison or Van Damme goes back up on the lectern, not the podium, and he tells his troops, all 300 out of shape extras in the movie, we are going to kick Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is going to feel it. Now, who wants to go home and who wants to go with me?
So that's actually the best part of the speech.
Right.
Because he has this reoccurring theme. But you can all go home.
Right.
You know, our fellow soldiers have died here for nothing, but we can all go home. And he goes, we're going to go up that river and kick Bison's ass so hard that the next Bison wannabe is going to feel it. Now, who wants to go home? Who wants to go with me? He goes like, go with me. And they're like, yeah. So that was actually the best part of that whole fucking stupid ass. So
he gets in a stealth boat that can turn invisible, and it
actually looks cool. That looks
pretty cool looking. I would design this as a child. And then there's a bunch of Zodiac boats. The Zodiac boats are the inflatable, like thick rubber boats with the big outboard motor. I think that was a budgetary issue. And before this, when they're in the meeting room talking about how they're going to attack, he's saying all the soldiers are going to come from the north, and I will go alone in the stealth boat from the south up the river. And someone stands up and says, you'd have to be insane to do that. And he goes, well, it's a good thing Bison made me crazy. Like, oh my God.
So stupid. And then the guy who says it has the worst broken fucking Asian accent. Like, why'd you pick that guy? He can barely speak English. Why the fuck would you pick him? And the guy has like 3 or 4 different scenes, and his English sucks. Like, does his parents own part of the movie company or something? Why would you put that dude?
My dad said I get to be in the movie.
Dude, he has a tough time speaking English, and you give this guy like 4 different scenes where he has to say something.
According to Alpha Proto, that was the guy Sawada that was the Capcom, the video game company that owns Street Fighter, wanted to play Ryu.
No, well, so what are you talking like that for?
Yeah.
That's the question. That shit was ridiculous.
So we
He's all
cut
sir.
back to the base of the evil Colonel Bison. He has a painting of himself as Napoleon on horseback. They're torturing the good guys. And then he invites Ming Na Wen playing Chun-Li. She is the beautiful woman who's the Interpol agent playing her CNN reporter. He dresses up in a Hugh Hefner smoking jacket, and he's going to seduce her sexually, so he thinks. And then she tells him, and there's a great line in this too. Honestly, as bad as the movie is, I love the line. She tells him that she's been hunting him for 10 or 20 years, and he came to her little village and overthrew it when she was a kid, and her dad died defending the village, and blah, 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 blah. And he said...
And you had him shot in the back.
Right.
Like
and he said,
coward.
the day I ransacked your village was one of the biggest days of your life. To me, it was just a Tuesday. That's actually a great line. That's such a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, and she was fucking, he was like, I don't remember it. And she was like, oh, you don't remember it? Like,
can you imagine someone does the worst thing that's ever happened in your life and you confront them and they go, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that shit. You're like, what? I just poured my heart out to you and you're just like, I don't recall. And then basically when he did all that, some baller shit, he shut her down.
MJ1 Media says, fun fact, her red kipao, I'm assuming that's that dress she's wearing, that outfit, is red instead of blue. In the video game, it's blue. But in the game, it was originally meant to be orange. Did not know that. So yeah, there are a few gems in this movie. The movie is horrible. Don't get me wrong. But I think, you know, Van Damme's superstar action guy. Raul Julia, a great actor. I think Ming Na Wen, she's had a great career. So Kylie Minogue, amazing singer, right? So there's some people that really got some stuff done. I think the movie was just hastily thrown together. Probably didn't have a great budget. But to me, I'm not a movie maker. I make comics and I write, but I am a writer. This seems like it was very rushed, the story, because it just has every earmark of a first draft. Like, we want to do this, because that's what you do when you write. You just put your ideas in front of you. I heard the Sklar brothers. They're twin brothers that are stand-up comedians. I actually met them in Hollywood with my daughter once. But I heard them talking on a podcast of the way they write jokes, and I've said this for like 15 years ever since I heard them say it. He says, this is the dumb version. Blah, 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 blah. That's the joke. Now, that's the dumb version. It's just like the frame of a house. We'll put the stucco, we'll put the roof, we'll put all the trim and make it beautiful later. But here's the dumb version. And when you write, just write the dumb version, get the point out there that you want to make, and then rewrite. And this movie is just like, nope, this was the dumb version of the story.
Go with it. Go. Leave it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I feel like they were delivering script pages every morning to the set.
Yeah. Or if, you know, people were building a house and they just like got to the point where they put the spackle on the outside, it's still like gray and they haven't painted it yet, and then they just move on to the next house. That's what this one was. Like they didn't let the paint dry. You know, the concrete was still wet. They just didn't. So many things that were supposed to be done with this movie and should be done with any decent movie. I mean, we're not talking some Oscar-worthy shit here, but give us something decent, you know? And they didn't even do that. Like, the plot is so fucking childish. And then it's fucking terrible.
Right. Yeah, when you write a story, again, this is writing tips. You don't write this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. You have to write like this happened, therefore this happened. Right? So it has to have an internal logic. It has to have this $50 word that I love, verisimilitude. It agrees with itself. It has an internal logic where, yeah, that makes sense because that other thing happened. It has to happen that way. I've heard the South Park guys talk about writing to college students. You know, there's a famous video, goes viral every few months online, and he talks about just that thing when they're writing scenes and all that. It's like, this happened, therefore this happened, but, you know, this happened. That's how you write, and you always want to have that tonic, that twist to keep people entertained, keep the ball in the air. You don't want to, this happened, then this happened, then this. It's like the way a little kid tells a story. Yeah. I was outside and Billy was there and we had lemonade and he was on his bike and he had a new transformer, and it's like, that's not a story. You're telling me everything you saw. Yeah.
Just very chunky, not smooth.
It's the way
the pieces don't interlock together.
I love my wife. So much so that I would visit her with the kids, as the earlier question. Yeah. But those of you out there that have wives,
worst storyteller ever.
You know the way women love to tell stories. And I'm very kind to my wife, but we have an understanding. I'll go about 2-3 minutes and I'll go, honey, you have to tell me what this is about. By
Kid
about the fifth
to the
character
point.
that I don't know Judy and I don't know Sally and she's a
Mhm.
bitch and her sister did this. I don't know who these people are. You just tell me what happened though. Okay.
Tell me what happened, sweetheart.
Like
Okay.
I know everyone was mad at Trudy because she didn't show up to the candle making party. I get it.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to tell me what the story's about though.
And she's always talking shit. All right,
Right.
got it. But
Right.
I need you to get to
But I
it.
will gently tell my wife, just please tell me what this is about. I cannot keep track of 9 women in this fiasco.
Get to the fucking point. That's what I want to say. What I want to say to my wife is, get to the fucking point. But I won't because I care about her feelings
Right.
and I love her. But boy, do I want to say, get to the point of this fucking story right now. I'm going to leave. But
And then sometimes they'll tell you the point of the story and it's a puff of smoke. It's almost nothing. You know, they're just
that's what you fucking wasted
women
15 minutes
bickering over
for?
something stupid.
Something so fucking
Well,
dumb.
she said she was bringing the brownies, but she knows that Mary is the one that always brings the brownies. So, like a bitch, she brought brownies to the party. So now we have too many brownies. It's like you didn't need to tell me this.
She said she was going to bring plates. So now we don't have any plates and we have too many brownies.
Right. We have double brownies, no fucking plates to eat them on. Thanks a lot, Mary.
I don't give a fuck. And if something like that happened to me, do you think I'd come home and tell you? No.
If guys did that to each other, be like, cool, more brownies. Now I can have 2.
Awesome. I'll eat them in my fucking hand. What's the problem? Oh my God. Women, you bring so many wonderful things to our lives, and you add so much, and you give us, different viewpoints because you see the world differently, and you bring your feminine touch and your kindness, your loving nature, your big heart, your body. You guys have a lot of things that are wonderful about you, but you couldn't tell a fucking story to save your life. Holy hell.
And the crazy thing is, they talk so much more than us.
3 times more.
I think the statistics of women speak like 20,000 words a day, men like 7,000.
Yeah. They speak 3 times more than we do.
And say nothing half the time. It's amazing the way their brains are wired to be so efficient with communication.
Yeah.
You'll see a group of your wife, her sister, the aunt, the mom, like 5, 6 women sit around at a holiday, family party, whatever. They're all talking and they're all listening.
Oh,
they're all talking at once and they're all hearing and reacting. It's the weirdest shit. I don't know how they do that.
I can't. You've seen that meme of Pete Hegseth? And then all the women who are fucking interrogating him are all talking at once.
You should get a Purple Heart for that, dude.
Oh my God. Gun in my mouth.
You just want the army to be a bunch of mean guys, don't you?
Dude.
It's amazing to me that they want to pussify the military. And it's like, guys, let's boil this all the way down to the bottom line. What is the military? It is a lethal killing force. That's what it is.
Kill.
Oh, I went to the air show, the Blue Angel. That's all for killing. That's all for taking whole people and making them into a bunch of little bloody parts. That's what it's for. It's ugly business and it's necessary.
Yeah, because
you want the military to be mean guys.
Over the state fair in Ohio, they do cool tricks and they're really loud and they set off the car alarms. But overseas, they drop bombs on people and fuck them up real bad.
Right. Turn people to pink mist, dude.
That should be our number one focus, not having your dick and balls cut off. Or if, there's something wrong with you. Well, no, military, hey, change your regulations, change your criteria, let them in there. No. If you don't cut it, you just don't cut it. Sorry, move along.
Jericho, that's mean.
That's life.
That's mean.
That's life.
You're mean and you don't care about hurting people's feelings.
No, I don't. And I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if the rest of the world didn't care about hurting mine because they don't. So I can't go up to the 49ers facility and say, hey guys, find a spot for me on your roster because I feel like I should be here. Get the fuck out of here. It's ridiculous.
Well, I don't think the military should be mean guys. I think they should be nice guys.
I think military should be the meanest guys we have.
They're killers. They are trained to kill.
They kill.
Literally
Some of them do it up close. Some of them do it from far away, but they all kill. And our goal is to kill more people faster. That's the goal.
faster and more lethal and more efficiently, and none of our guys die. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's our job. Our goal is to kill more of you than you kill of us, and to kill you guys faster than you've ever been killed in human history. Look at bombs in World War II, carpet bombing. They just release the bomb at a certain point and hope that it hits its target. Now they can make it hit your car in the parking lot, nobody else's. So that's because we're efficient at killing. Duh.
Heather, shame on you. Since her husband never shuts up, he gossips all day at work. He acts gay. Don't say things. You better be joking. Don't say that about your husband.
That's fucked up. He acts gay.
You better be like a box of wine deep right now. You better not mean that. That's
He acts gay.
She better like have downed an entire Franzia, you know.
Ugh, that's the Franzia talking. Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, I think she's joking, right? Heather?
All right, let's move it on because this movie is horrible and we're taking
Dude, the end fighting scene is 30 minutes long.
It's so bad.
Fuck.
So bad.
Moving
So
on.
anyway, she's gonna beat him up. He was trying to put the moves on her in his Hugh Hefner room. She tells him he killed her family. He doesn't give
She
a
gets
shit.
some good shots in. She gets a few good shots. She throws him through this glass thing. She fucks him up pretty good, but then he runs into this, he gets distracted. Her dumbass crew comes in, Chun-Li, and she turns to look at them. And when she turns away, because she had the upper hand on Bison, he fucking gets away, goes into this secret chamber. This plexiglass thing comes down, and then they start filling the room with gas. This was very
James Bondy.
No, this was like more fucking the old Batman TV show from the 60s.
Right.
You know,
What do we do, Robin?
Yeah, they get trapped in a room with gas. Oh, Batman,
first draft of a script, Batman. This story doesn't make any fucking sense.
Robin,
That's right,
try to
Robin.
hold
This
your
is the
breath.
most illogical piece of shit I've ever been in. There's only one way out of a story like this, Robin. How's that, Batman? We've got to smoke our way out of this. Crack cocaine. It's the only way.
We have to kill ourselves, Robin. Take your cape off, tie it around your neck, and choke
No,
yourself.
don't worry about dying, Robin. I'm fairly certain we'll reincarnate as better actors.
Dude, this was very fucking corny. Like they're like slowly breaking down to their knees and to the ground, and they pass out. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so he's defeated the good guys again, Bison. Here
Once
comes
again.
the vicious inflatable boat army. Now,
wait a minute. If RHIs, rigid hull inflatables, those are usually to get away. Those are usually you're escaping.
Not this time.
You had it hidden somewhere on the river, you know, on the river banks, and you're getting away. Right. Or you're inserting yourself into a location quietly. Like you use that to get as close as you can, then you kill the engine, and then you get out and take it from there. Not amphibious assault with here we come, fucking rubber boats. They're not usually used for combat.
Yeah. And Van Damme's in his stealth boat that I promise you will turn invisible with all the glory of 1993 technology. They're wearing like motorcycle helmets with visors, but they don't put the visors on.
They do put them down for a second.
They have sun-blocking visors inside a completely dark stealth boat.
They do. They take them down for a second because they take them down when they go invisible, and then once they're invisible, then they flip them back up.
And he
for
has
some fucking reason.
So he's driving this boat all fast. It's a speedboat. And then he like has a little video player and he sees like him and Carlos and the wives at a cafe bistro somewhere eating outdoors and laughing. Carlos is the one that's going to be turned into the green ape monster. Carlos is there in that frame. But he's driving the boat, but like watching a little video or something. Like watch the road. Watch where you're going.
Yeah, why are you fucking is he getting himself pumped up to go to battle? Why is he watching this highlight reel? And who's holding that camera? Who the fuck? There's two couples at a table. It looks like somewhere in Italy. Who's filming that?
Excuse me, signore. Signore, can you hold my camera for me and my friends? In case my friend he gets captured, I want to watch this video right before I attack a Shadaloo City.
Yeah, poopita, popita, poopita.
When you go to Italy, you have to affect the horrible Italian accent just to piss them off.
Hey, and put your fingers like it is right here. And poopita, popita, poopita. Make sure you have a wife beater on. with like some fucking, some flour on your face.
They
And,
had
like,
to
a
yell,
towel
"Hey,
over your
Ma,
shoulder.
is the gravy ready?"
Hey, man. So you gotta fucking do it, Owie.
So anyway, he's
Anyway,
he's looking at his cell phone while he's driving. Apparently,
you're so
they didn't even
fucking
have. I don't know. Whatever, dude. And there, look at. Okay,
That's Blanca from the video game. That's Blanca.
as a kid, my favorite character was Blanca. He wasn't great to fight with. I would usually use Ken, the red karate guy. But Blanca to me was just so cool looking. He's like the Incredible Hulk meets King Kong. He has red hair, but he's green. He's wearing cut off denim jorts. And he lives in the Brazilian jungle, and no one knows how he turned into a weird green ape man.
Mm-hmm.
This guy spent $3.84 at Party City on this makeup and wig.
Terrible.
Look at this wig. You could see like the plasticiness of it.
Yep.
And that you
And
could see his flesh color through the green. They put some latex like forehead on him.
Over his eyes, and look
And
kind
like
of
a bigger nose. This is horrible. And they
Go back
got
to
him in
the
that
other one.
gizmo where they're making him watch horrific murders to make him like a crazy killer.
And then to combat it, to reverse the effects, he starts playing positive images, like weddings and baseball games. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Then the miser says it looked like a dead 90s rock star. Dude, that is awful. That is grim as hell.
Dude, look at that hair. And if you go back to the cartoon version, that picture, it's like long and slick back, and like look, you see it's down to like his back.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes down to here to his ribs.
Nope.
And then he has a giant tuft of it on his chest, bizarrely.
Yeah, not this one, not this fucking Walmart fucking 5 for $20 bin.
This
Look
is
at that
like
shit.
Adult size costume at Party City. You know those orange packs, and then it has the white half circle where it shows the costume. Ugh.
Terrible. $35 million. Where?
Dalsim, the Indian scientist, he's turning Blanca into this monster, but he hates it. His science is being used for evil, but he's a prisoner of the bad guys, the Indian scientist guy that knows how to make this mutation thing happen. So he switches the video in the goggles to peaceful, wonderful, loving things. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech about "I Have a Dream" and I don't know, teddy bears and picnics and rainbows. So he won't be so psychotic and evil.
Yeah. Well, Gabe, how do you know he's a prisoner? Is it because he's wearing shackles?
Yeah.
Because he's wearing shackles around his wrists.
With a chain around his neck that chains both of his wrists right in front of his crotch. And I think there's a chain belt. So I don't know how you're supposed to do science experiments like that.
Dude, and speaking of Martin Luther King, my son comes home today and he goes, Dad, we learned about Martin Luther King today in school in his speech. I said, the I Have a Dream speech? He's like, yeah. I said, oh, yeah? He's like, Dad, I want to tell you. He's like, can I tell you some of it? I was like, yeah. My son is in 3rd grade. So, yeah, go ahead and tell me. And he's like, he basically goes, Dad, he's also, I have a dream that white girls, white kids and black kids, and white people and black people can come together, and white people and black people can have fun together. I was like, yeah, that's basically.
Yeah, son, it's called the NBA. It's called.
I was like, yeah. But I was thinking in my mind, how do I tell him that Martin Luther King was a philandering communist? But I was like, whatever, I'll let him. I'll wait till he gets a little bit older before I drop that bomb on him.
Right.
I remember
it's like Santa Claus. Don't ruin it yet.
I'm not gonna fuck it up for him yet. I want to go to school tomorrow. My dad said he was a communist.
My dad said MLK was a filthy commie.
He was a pinko commie. What's a pinko commie? Yeah.
He was a red diaper doper baby. That's what my dad said.
So stupid. So bamboozled for years before I found out the truth about Martin.
To be fair, though, if you don't know any of the stuff and you just hear his positive messages and you can take those in a vacuum, which I think most people do, it's a good message,
True.
Because who knows that he's a communist? None of us know that. Like none of us heard it at first, so it doesn't have an effect on us. Like okay, so he believed to be a communist and hated capitalism. That's terrible and it's anti-American. But I didn't know that for 30-something years, so it's irrelevant to me. It didn't. What I'm saying is, it didn't have any influence. I guess those beliefs. I don't know.
No, but when you learn the truth about him, then it kind of overshadows these heavily cherry-picked. Little speeches and snippets that we know of him, that we've been told.
Yeah. MJ, 1 minute. Even horrible people can have good messages. That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
But
What if the worst person in the world gave you a food review of a place to check out when you were visiting, Des Moines, would you? Obama told you where you can get the best foot-long hot dogs in Des Moines.
You would know.
You saw what I did there.
I did.
Would you not go? Don't you love a good dog? Who doesn't love a great hot dog?
I mean, yeah, I could separate the message from the messenger, I guess.
Right.
But it's just the way that he was presented, and then when that's juxtaposed with who he really was and why he was saying the things he was saying, even those quote unquote good messages, who are they coming from, and what was the entire speech, not just again these snippets that we hear. What else did he say in that same speech? And you're like, oh, what the fuck? So yeah. But again, I'll let him enjoy that a little bit longer before I pull back the curtain and tell him the truth.
So this middle-aged portly guard of the terrorist army is reading a Playboy magazine, I think, and he's kind of watching the Indian scientist mutate the guy into this thing, and he realizes that he's feeding him positive imagery, so he won't be a psycho killer. He could be a more normal person. He gets mad, and they get in a fight over it, but he's not able to beat up the Indian scientist because Blanca gets free, right? Doesn't Blanca get free? And who knocks this guy out?
Toward the very end.
Not just yet. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Not yet.
So all the good guys are brought into this big main situation.
Yeah, after they've woken up from the sleeping gas.
Right. So Bison is there with Vega and Sagat, and they're going to talk about how they're going to stand up to the UN or the AN army that's attacking them now with those speedboats and the stealth boat and all that. And oh boy. As they go upriver, they're using a minigun on top of the stealth. It's a stealth fighter, but it has a minigun on top. Nice and quiet. And it's shooting at radar towers and stuff like that, blowing them up so they can come in. It of course, alerts his security. Everyone just stares at the big monitors. There's all kinds of landmines going up, but I don't have an image of it, I don't think. But there's an amazing pod that Bison has, like a 10-foot wide and 5-foot tall pod that can float in the air. And he stands in it, and he controls the underwater mines to try and attack Van Damme's boat. And the controls for this thing are arcade Street Fighter controls. It's the joystick and the 6 punch and kick buttons.
Yeah, I saw that shit too. I was like, what the
That's
fuck?
weird.
It's a little too on the nose.
Yeah. So, yeah, the boat's invisible mode. They're trying to blow it up. The good guys, everybody's watching with bated breath, these stupid screens. The perverted guard who was reading the Playboy catches the scientist having mercy on Charlie, turning him into Blanca, the gorilla ape thing. And he says, oh, you're not doing what the boss said. And then Blanca comes out of the incubation chamber where he was being pumped full of mutagen and drugs and psychotic videos. And he looks worse than the Hulk TV show that was made 25 years before this movie. I never thought the Hulk looked great, but it was television and it was 1976 or whatever. This looks lower budget than that 20, 30 years later.
Yeah, and with a much bigger budget.
Right. So he saves the Indian scientist, and now the good guys are storming Shadaloo Temple, Shadaloo City, which doesn't look like much of a city. It looks like ruins of a temple.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know.
Looks fucking terrible.
Oh, and then the UN liaison that told Van Damme not to do the strike is trying to explain to his boss, why is the army attacking Shadaloo City? We had already had a peace deal. We were going to pay him the $20 billion for the hostages. He's like, he didn't take the whole army. And then they cut back to the army base.
Yeah.
And this is the only guy in the army left. The cook, who apparently doesn't know his kitchen is inside the building.
No, everything's outdoors, man.
He's like, it's a nice day. I thought I'd grill outdoors. Where'd everybody go?
He's a different kind of cook, man. He likes to be outside in the element with his tank top on so he can get his armpit hairs on your food.
When you grill outside, you stand, right? This guy's sitting. Yeah. Is that weak or is that a power move?
No, he's probably be out there for a while. He has multiple pots to stir. Right. Give him a pass, man. Give him a pass.
Making a lot of slop. Here's your slop. Come in your seconds.
Hey.
Yeah. I don't know about this outdoor cooking. I don't like that at all. I think it's weak.
Get your ass in the kitchen.
Let me bring in a guest, an expert, the only sponsor of our show, the great Terry Bollea. The Hulkster's here. How you doing, Hulkster?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you, dude? Happy New Year, dude. We got 2025, brother. Sales are going to be through the roof, dude.
I love it. Pasta Mania in Clearwater, Florida. Kids eat free on Tuesdays. Hulkster, you're a great sponsor of the show and a great friend of me and Jericho. Jericho had to step out for a minute. Would you ever cook your food outdoor like this, in the filth, in the dirt? I thought I saw dogs running around. There could have been a lizard. Would you ever cook Pasta Mania's exquisite linguine, fettuccine, spaghettini, macaroni, and on and on? Would you cannoli, lasagna? Would you cook that outside? Because I don't think you would.
It has to be covered, buddy. It has to be covered up, dude, because I've done outside events, brother, high-end weddings and whatnot, dude. It has to be covered under a tent, brother, but out under that big blue sky, brother, like I used to ride down the PCH, dude, on my red and yellow Harley, brother, with my hair blowing in the wind, dude. That's how I ride my bike, brother, but not how I cook my pasta, dude.
Exactly. Now, what would you do if someone tried to feed you this and it had, maybe a few dead gnats in it or some dust or a leaf in it? What would you do if someone tried to feed you that? What would you do even worse if someone cooked your Pasta Mania food outside while you were away from work and they cooked it outside in filth like this? What would you do to them?
I would grab them by the back of their sweaty neck, brother, and I would hold their face under that boiling water, dude, until I pull their face out and all the meat's gone, brother. It's just a clean skeleton staring back at me, brother, because you don't fuck around, dude, with my pasta, brother.
Right, and you'd have cheeks so you could make guanciale that night. So that's a win-win.
It's a win-win for everybody, dude. And it sends a clear message, brother. Don't fuck around with the Hulkster's pasta, dude.
Never. Okay, well, last thing, thank you for coming and giving your great expert opinion on this. Trump 47, inauguration coming Monday. Is there anything special that you're going to be doing to celebrate at Pasta Mania, to celebrate the second term of Donald J. Trump?
Of course, brother. I'm going to have that red, white, and blue pasta, dude. And it's free for everybody, brother. I know the kids eat free on Tuesdays, brother. But this time, on this Monday, dude, everybody eats free at Pasta Mania, brother. And only have one question, dude. Yes. What are you going to do when the 47th president, Donald J. Trump, runs wild on you, brother?
Yeah, hell yeah. Now, this free pasta, what if a busload of BLM and Marxist people showed up to get free pot? Because the communists, they love free shit. They're saying is, if it's free, give me three. What would you do if BLM, a busload of them, showed up? A bunch of white kids from upper class neighborhoods pretending to care about black people. What would you do if they showed up for this free red, white, and blue pasta?
That's fine, brother. This is the country of America, brother. And as long as they get in line, dude, and they wait for their turn, brother, and they don't cause any problems, brother, I'll serve them up a big pile of that pasta, dude. Because I think they need it more than anybody else, brother. Those little pencil neck pieces of shit, brother. They need to get some meat on their bones, dude. And maybe they could do something at a rally, brother, instead of getting beat up, dude.
With their 7th grade arms. The great Terry Bollea, a patriot among patriots. Pasta Mania, American beer, and the Hulkster, the legend of wrestling. Pasta Mania, kids eat free on Tuesdays, Clearwater, Florida. All right, we'll talk to you. We'll see you Monday for the inauguration, buddy.
Bye, dude.
Bye-bye. The great Hulk Hogan, the one and only sponsor of this show.
What a guy.
Amazing. What a guy.
I feel like other people wanted to sponsor it, but he kind of scared them off.
Right. Heather, are there any bad areas in La Jolla I should stay away from on vacation? Probably renting a B&B. La Jolla, California,
Nope.
may or may not be right by where I live. I love La Jolla. I'm there all the time. It's my favorite beach. Is La Jolla Shores. There's also the Cove. La Jolla, at times, because this fluctuates, is the richest zip code in America. There are $20 million mansions on Mount Soledad and all that. And no, La Jolla is rich. It's rich. It's globally rich. It's not just rich for America. It's like globally rich. This is a super wealthy, affluent place. I was just there 2 days ago. And I'm not going to dox where I live, but that's where I worked. DC Comics studio that I worked at for 3 years. It's in La Jolla on the block in front of the beach on Prospect Street. So that's my neck of the woods, La Jolla there. So yeah, you'll love it. It's very bougie. It's very expensive. It's very nice. No, you'll love La Jolla.
Yeah, there will be no bad areas in La Jolla, like where I used to live near Pebble Beach. There are no bad parts of Pebble Beach. There are no bad parts of Carmel, Monterey, any of those really high-end zip codes. You'll be fine. It's not the California you hear about.
Right. Yeah. This is you can go to the Cove there. The Cove is awesome. There are some caves too that you can walk through. They're ocean caves that open up to the sea. It's pretty awesome. But I was literally there, I think it was there Sunday or Monday. I went down there. Just pretty quick jaunt. I go there a lot in the summer to watch the sunset. I'll drive my wife over to the Torrey Pines golf course. It's a public course, but it's in one of the richest zip codes. So it looks like a billionaire's golf course. It's Tiger Woods' like home course. Like that's where he golfs so much. And it overlooks the ocean, Torrey Pines. It's amazing.
Yeah, not bad.
They have the lodge at Torrey Pines is an amazing restaurant, and they have an outdoor grill bistro version of the lodge there. I took my mom there for her 70th birthday. You'll love La Jolla. It is swanky as all get out. It is it's a beautiful place. So it's awesome. Love La Jolla. So it's my beach, La Jolla Shores. Awesome beach. It's similar to like the beaches in Hawaii that are shallow for many, 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 many yards. La Jolla Shores is that way. You can walk in like 3-foot water for a really long time. And La Jolla, it does mean the jewel, that's La Jolla. But they do say La Jolla is an old Native American word, and then it's kind of been transposed into a Spanish word for a jewel, I guess, or something like that. I don't know. But it's paradise, So Diesel says it's one of my favorite places in America. Yeah. When I would stress out, like when I was in college and stuff, I lived in Colorado. I would, in my mind, I know this sounds kind of funny, but in my mind, I would close my eyes and I would imagine I was in La Jolla Shores, laying in about 5-6 foot deep water on my back, just letting the sun hit me. It's a really fun thing to do. So on Memorial Day, 4th of July, those days, I head down to the beach at like 5-6 in the morning. You got to get there early. There's only like 100 parking spots, and that beach fills. And we'll bring all kinds of breakfast burritos. Then we'll bring stuff to barbecue lunch, and we'll make a day of it. It's fun. We did that for years, and we did that again this year. We hadn't done it in a couple of years because of the lockdown, all the crap. But we did it again this 4th of July, and it was awesome. So La Jolla it's heaven. It's beautiful. We're gonna speed through the end of this movie because it sucks.
Dude, seriously, the end battle scene, the gear up and going down the river and all that shit is like 30 minutes.
It's so terrible. One thing I do want to show you where Warner Brothers was. Okay, so here's La Jolla. Open image in new tab. This is kind of zoomed out, so it might be small and blurry. Let's see. This is La Jolla, California. And this is La Jolla, okay? And if you look right here, this building right here, see I'm wiggling my mouse. Can you see the mouse? It's very small on the screen, but I'm wiggling it there. Mm-hmm. That's DC Comics. That's where we were. That is the Pacific Ocean. So we were right there. La Jolla is gorgeous. And the beach I really love is off to the left where that says La, it's way over there. There's tons of sharks in the deeper water there because it's a shelf, this thing. It goes out, like over here by the cove and all that, just a few feet. And then it drops like to a 200 or 300 foot like canyon right there underwater. And there's some like lemon sharks and tiger sharks. They're not very big, but there's amazing snorkeling. See the blue water right under the L, right there, that tiny little patch there. I go snorkeling there, and there's seals there, and you swim right next to them and stuff. At the very bottom, this round area is called the children's pool. And I used to go swimming there when I was a kid, and that's an artificial man-made wall at the bottom, the half circle. You're no longer allowed to go to this beach and swim because of environmentalists, because there's like is it a school? Is it a pod? Is it a herd? I don't know, of seals. And they had lawsuits and this and that. So you can't go there because seals have taken over the children's pool right here.
Fuck that. Throw them over the wall out in the ocean and let them fend for themselves with those damn sharks.
No, La Jolla, and here's a little funny one for you too. Sorry, didn't mean to click that out. So DC Comics is this red and black building right here, right where I'm wiggling the mouse. Across the street is the Colonial Hotel. It's this white building here, okay, to the north. And the people who had offices at DC Comics on these black windows right here, Jericho, you see on this side in the shade, a lot of them had binoculars because you could look at the hotel and see very interesting things that rich people do in the middle of the day. I remember being called over to the window a few times.
Some weird shit going on.
And I'll put it this way. There was a guy that made recurring appearances with different women.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, this movie is beyond stupid, and it just gets stupider. And let's finish it off here because we got to put this movie out of its misery. Anyway, they're attacking Shadaloo City. I know I've said that for the 10th time. This movie, it just like does stuff. It doesn't earn the moments. The good guys are sort of infiltrating the base. Okay, so all the hostages are in a pit in the center of that giant room where all the bad guys meet and have their monitors and control the weapons. I don't know. There's just like a pit in the middle of the room with giant sliding horizontal doors that close them off there. They all seem like they're dying in there. I don't know what they would be dying of. Maybe they're not giving them any water or food. I don't know where these people taking a crap in here together. This is terrible. But then Van Damme infiltrates the base by there's a hole in the temple in the ground. He goes down, rappels on a rope, and comes up in a vent in the main bad guy room. No, he finds Charlie, his buddy, who's turned into Blanca. And there's a real weird moment. He's like, Charlie, what have they done to you? You had a family, blah, 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 blah. He's like, come with me. And he's like, I can't go back to my family like this. He's all, then I will help you. And you think like Van Damme's like, I'm going to help you like get better and get, he pulls out his 1911 pistol and points it at Charlie's face. He's going to kill his best friend to put him out of his
help you, dog. I'm helping you with the final solution.
He's like that meme of Wesley Snipes crying and pointing the gun.
He's like, I can't go back to my family like this. That process shrunk my dick, and I can't go back to my wife.
Van Damme's like, you know what? I agree with you.
Let me see how bad the damage is. Oh, it looks like they really shrunk the baguette. It is so tiny. The only one thing left to do is blow your brains all over the pillow.
Turn around and think about this. Think about this.
Look at me.
Don't look at me. Don't look at my eyes.
Tell me about the rabbits, Guile. I will tell you about the rabbits. Just stay on the way and do not look at me. Oh, ridiculous.
Dis-moi, le lapin. That's the French version. Lapin is a rabbit. Dis-moi is tell me,
Fucking stupid.
Dis-moi de lapin. Dis-moi de lapin. And he points his gun at his friend's head.
Dude.
Not, hey, haven't seen you since you got kidnapped and turned into a fucking mutant. Maybe you can escape with me and we can undo this Franken science.
No.
Or I can blow your fucking brains all over this wall.
Just turn your head into a fucking green canoe right now. That sounds better.
Tell me about the rabbits, George.
That sounds way better because there's not a lot of room in that stealth boat. And I'm not trying to jam your big ass in there and break all my controls.
So that was a bizarre moment.
I think I'll just dome you.
In writing, this is Gabe being the writing professor again. Plot and character are the same thing. People argue it's a plot-driven story. It's a character-driven story. Nope, I disagree. Plot reveals character. The plot are the things that happen, right? Well, the things that the characters do tell you who they are. So when I do something in the story, that's the plot, but it also tells you my morality, my viewpoint, and what kind of character I am. Plot and character are like two bike pedals. They're pushing each other along. He's going to shoot his friend in the face 5 seconds after rescuing him.
Yeah.
That's like, that just doesn't even make any sense, dude.
You go through all that to rescue him just to fucking kill him? Oh, come on, Guile.
See, and there's the video game controllers. This is that floating thing that Bison goes in to launch missiles.
Yeah.
This is literally an arcade cabinet, dude.
Wow.
What if he was trying to attack the army with the missiles by pushing the buttons and he ran out of quarters?
It's like, oh, who has 50 cents? Come on. I need
Then one of his lieutenants comes up with one of those, those money changer belts. They push those little thumb things, a bunch of quarters come out.
He's like, no, I'm going to need $2 from you. Come on, dude. Just give me the quarters. I'm good for
Bison's like, can you break a 5?
How much do I get for a bison dollar?
He's like, I only have a 50. He's like, I can't give you that many quarters.
I can't, dog. It's ridiculous. You know that.
So anyway, they're going to kill the hostages. They open the door, kill the hostage. Then the door gets shut. The amphibious assault is going about as good as you would imagine. Van Damme is stopped from blowing his buddy's brains all over the lab by Dr. Dulcim telling him, no, I brainwashed him with good videos too, so he understands good and evil. I will take care of him. So that's kind of weird and unexplained.
So I'm glad you said that because I was about to kill his ass. I was about to murder
But
that motherfucker.
Bison, he opens the trap door where all the hostages are, and he says he's gonna unleash the green gorilla monster that he's created because it's a super soldier, and he will create an army of super soldiers. And they would take over the whole world and turn it into Bison world, and then there will be peace and happiness. That's his plan here, by the way. So the first Bison creature, or the first Blanca creature that's going to bring peace and happiness, is going to like eat all these people apparently. So they open the door, all these spikes come out of the ground. The incubator that Charlie / Blanca, the green gorilla, was sitting in, opens, and instead is Jean-Claude Van Damme. And he kicks Bison right in the mouth, and all the good guys suddenly turn, and they all know how to fight the bad guys suddenly. And everyone's
needed
fighting.
that spark.
Right.
You need that spark, man.
Yeah, they were all standing there ready to be killed, and then it's all the red terrorist guys versus the street fighters.
That's right.
So, yeah. So they're fighting throughout the temple. They're beating up guys. In this scene, Van Damme throws the magazine of his gun at a bad terrorist soldier and like hits him in the head with it and takes him out. He runs out of bullets and then what do you think a magazine weighs? An ounce? 2?
I mean, if it's like even if it's a pistol magazine, you're getting around a half pound, maybe a pound. Or I'd say like a half pound. Like enough, you could like bloody their nose, but you're not gonna like fucking incapacitate them, you know.
Like if it's I think he has a 1911, but if it's a Glock, like they're plastic, the magazines. They're that composite.
But the bullets are still, you're at least like 3/4 of a pound because of the bullets, you know, you're holding in.
No, his gun went like click, click. It was empty, so he dropped the mag and threw the mag.
Oh yeah, that's not going to do anything.
That's like 3 ounces of plastic and a little bit of metal.
That's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
If that takes out one of your soldiers, you need a new army.
Right. So yeah, this is the kind of shenanigans that are going on.
You need
this guy with the bandana is supposed to be the big Native American character that's huge and burly and brown skinned.
Oh yeah, dude, that dude's giant. He's like way taller than everybody.
Yeah,
he's like Billy from.
He's supposed to be T-Hawk, Tomahawk.
Yeah, T-Hawk's huge though.
And then E Honda and Zangi for wrestling and fighting. The Zodiac boats are arriving.
They're wrestling with the Godzilla sound effects.
Right.
Which is really fucking weird.
Well, that's right. Then Van Damme tells Chun-Li and Balrog, or I guess he's Balrog, he's not Bison, to get the hostages out. And he'll be, 5 steps behind them, and if they don't see him, just evacuate if he's not there in 15 minutes, then he's dead. Blah, blah, blah. Bad guys fighting, lots of bullshit, machine guns, horrible special effects, awful costumes, terrible set. It's an abomination. These two they rip the patches of the evil military off their clothes. They go full karate and fight. There's a locker room fight with Ken and Ryu, Sagat, Vega, and Balrog. And somehow Balrog, the black guy that's the boxer, he has boxing gloves on.
Well, naturally.
If you're in an actual warfare with actual terrorists, with actual rifles, why in the hell would you put on 16-ounce Everlasts? Why would you do that?
See who wants to man up, go toe to toe. Who's willing to put down their gun that could kill you easily?
Look at Stacy. What did they do to my boys, Ryu and Ken? Oh,
dude.
Oh, and it's Thunderhawk, not Tomahawk. Thank you, Stacy.
Fuck them. Either way, Thunder or Tama, that shit is fucking terrible. And that dude, they just got like some regular dude to play his part.
Then they have a face-off with all the UN soldiers versus all the terrorist soldiers. Everyone's pointing rifles, which, by the way, is one of the most unrealistic things in movies when people point guns at each other. In real life, nobody sees the barrel of a gun pointed at them and just freezes and points their gun back.
No.
In real life, if you see a gun being drawn on you, I would imagine the reaction would be to fire your weapon.
Yes, before they fire theirs.
Because you're right. Because the bullets, they're pretty fast when they come out of that gun. You're not going to dodge it.
Well, you would think that whole self-preservation thing would cause you to fire your gun instead of pointing it and seeing, well, maybe he's not going to shoot.
I hate that. That's one of the biggest cliches in movies I hate is when good guy, bad guy point guns at each other and they talk.
Yeah, no.
That would just never happen, dude.
Because once the guns come out, my dad always told me, don't point a gun at somebody unless you plan on shooting them. So as soon as if I pull my gun out, it's getting fired. Because if not, why pull it out? Right?
Just insanity.
Right.
I do like this movie for its super corniness, but I last time I saw it was 4 years ago. I think I need another 4-10 to 8-year break again on this movie.
And probably closer to 8. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
And when I saw it 4 years ago, that was the first time I'd ever seen it. And I'm
So
a
you
Van
didn't
Damme
know.
fanatic, and I'm a Street Fighter fanatic, and I knew not to see this movie. So
Mhm. See that? Even the people who love Van Damme and
I'm the
love
core
Street Fighter,
demographic for this movie, and I didn't watch it.
and it didn't come close, did it?
No.
It didn't come close.
Then you get this fight between Bison and Van Damme, which I think is cool because it's so ridiculous. It just works because Bison is such an insane cartoon, and a great actor like the late Raul Julia, he can carry the insanity. And as bad as the movie is, you can enjoy his insanity. Do you agree? I like how crazy he is in the movie. It just works because it's such a shit sandwich of a movie. Like, fine, just be a lunatic then, you know.
He was one of the very few bright spots in this movie.
Yeah.
Was Raul Julia. Because and I'm sure he came to set every day and was like, what the fuck? I went to this school of arts in Puerto Rico and blah 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 blah. I gotta come here with this gaggle of assholes every morning. But it didn't come across on the filming. He was very professional, did a great job. And
Yeah.
again, one of the few, and I mean, I can count the bright spots on one hand and probably have a few fingers left over.
Now, this is a good shot here because this is reminiscent of how the video game looks. You always have the two characters, one on one side, one on the other. And if you're playing it and you're player one, you're going to be on the left. So the good guy's on the left, the bad guy's on the right. And it's got a nice industrial background. So this is a good shot here. I enjoyed that. A little more sparring and kicking and stuff. And he kicks Bison into some controls and zaps him and kills him almost.
Almost.
Killed him. He talks to Kylie Minogue. Okay, we defeated the bad guys mostly. Get the hostages out of here. I'm done with Bison. He's a joke. I killed him, blah, blah, blah. But some sort of mechanism in Bison's suit kicks in, and it charges him up with electric magnetic psycho power, and it injects him with adrenaline and blah, blah, blah. And now he's superpowered. And he can float, and he can fly around and tackle people like a flying Superman. He has electric bolts coming out of his hands. It's a thing in the video game, in the comic book, they call his psycho power or whatever it is. And he has his boots are glowing so he can float up in the air. And then he's like quoting, is he quoting the Bible or is he quoting a novel? He's saying that he saw Satan fall down from heaven like lightning. And then he like charges right at Van Damme and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that's from the Bible.
Oh my goodness. Right. Oh, then Ken and Ryu split up. Ken was like, I'm out of here. Fuck this. The UN soldiers are here. I'm not doing any more fighting. They're getting paid. We're not. And Ryu was like, I'm staying behind. I'm honorable. I'm good in this and that. And let's see. Oh, Alpha Proto has can you give us a line reading for this, Jericho? When Kylie Minogue asks Van Damme how Bison is after he thinks he's defeated him, Kyle, are you all right?
I think
I have it on the screen. I got it on the screen. Kyle, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just half dead.
And Bison?
All dead. God.
I like it. That's a good line. I think it's funny.
No.
So,
so fucking terrible.
Now, I do think Bison's costume looks cool. We have the Party City Blanca that looks like hot ass. I think Bison and Raul Julia, I do think it looks cool. I love the boots with the glowing magnet, whatever, the crazy cape, the big shoulder part on the cape, and the crazy hat. I think he looks cool. I think he looks like Bison. Now, of course, in the comics and in the video game, Bison has Arnold Schwarzenegger's physique. He's like totally muscular. But this works. I think it works. So, and here's that locker room fight I was talking about. For whatever reason, Balrog is wearing, I guess, weighted gloves. Sagat found some hand wraps because he's supposed to be a Thai kickboxer, so he has some red hand wraps.
Yeah, but he's fucking old. And he's not even like a kickboxer. It's not like even if he is old, if he's like a kickboxer, hey, let's see some skills. But that shit was...
None the Miser says, I missed the ending. Does the UN win or the Ninja Turtles? They both lose. None the Miser.
Everybody loses. Them, the people who watch this, a lot of people lost at the end of this fucking movie.
Ooh, MJ1 Media says, sorry. MJ1 Media says Neil McDonough would have made a great Bison himself if he was dressed and acting like Bison, but that movie wasted him. Rolo is still the top Bison. Yeah, I think Neil McDonough has the potential to be a great Bison. He's got that big block head, McDonough, It's very square, like powerful looking head and all that. So you know who Neil McDonough is, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
blonde dude.
Yeah, I think he's friends with Dean or Marston or both or something like that. I talked to
But
one of them
even
about it.
but even if like, because you have a little more wiggle room with Bison because he's wearing that suit, so you could beef him up a little bit, you know, a little padding or whatever under there. So he doesn't have to be ripped. But like Guile, Ken, Ryu, all the guys showing off their arms and shit, the T-Hawk, dude,
Right,
those guys got to be fucking ripped,
right.
and it just wasn't.
Yeah. Oh well. But here we are at the end, my friends. So Bison, you know, he rises up, he has psycho power. And but it's all for naught because Van Damme kicks him into the giant monitor screen, and it's not enough. Not enough psycho power to keep him alive this time. He's electrocuted, fried like a fish. And you got lots of sparks. It's now a spark factory.
Dude, gotta have.
And at Jericho, the energy field is unstable. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, I'm glad they made that clear because I was wondering, is it unstable or not?
Oh, and when he kicks Bison into the big TV monitor, he says, "Bison, you're off the air."
Zero off of the air. Oh, mon cher Lee.
Oh, MJ1 Media points out, I do like the radio DJ in this movie when he says, "Good morning, Shadaloo."
Yeah, well, shout out to Robin Williams.
Yeah, referencing Robin Williams. That's right.
But he was way better at saying that than this one.
So yeah, Bison is dead. E Honda and Zangief decide not to fight. DJ's like, "I'm out of here and I'm stealing." The boss is an idiot, and Zangief's like, what do you mean? And he's like, "Our side was the bad side, you dummy." And like Zangief is a bird brain in this movie. And DJ steals a big crate of valuables. And we'll see what that is at the very, very end. We're almost there. The good guys get out. They hold the door open, a big hydraulic door. Somehow Zangief holds it open. Everyone escapes out the door. The temple blows up. The good guys hide and look up in the bushes. And the UN soldiers are arresting all the terrorist soldiers. The good guys are posing in their outfits. Sega and DJ find out that the box of valuables was the Bison dollars. He had printed his own worthless money, but he claimed once he took over the world, it'd be worth £5 for every Bison dollar, which now it's just wallpaper or whatever. So they just throw it in the air. They got nothing. And then Van Damme comes out of the smoke, and they're all happy that he's alive and survived. And then they pose in the famous Street Fighter pose that is from the video game. Like if you look at the video game screen, this image is in there. I'll see if I can find it. But that is Street Fighter, the horrific, horrific movie.
What a shit movie.
Let me see if I can find that image. So you watched this today with your son?
Well, he watched part of it. He couldn't stand the whole thing, and I don't blame him. But yeah, we watched like half of it together. I don't blame him. I was like, son, I wish I could turn it off, but I gotta watch it.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so when you beat the old game, open image in new tab, you would get this image. Hold on. This is going to be blurry. I just found a small version. When you beat the game, you'd get this like image right here. So it's the characters kind of jumping and celebrating, pointing their hands in the air, posing. And then if you look at the way they did it in here, it was very similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they kind of had a nod to the game. The movie's horrific, but funny. I do find the terribleness charming, but you got to be in the mood for it. It's best if you're like in a goofy mood with your buddies. You know, you jag off buddies from high school or college or whatever that you still stay in contact with. I told you, it's a tradition for me growing up with Merlin. That's my best friend from elementary school. We're still good friends. Was stupid movies. We'd be riding the bus home in middle school or elementary school and said, "Hey, you want to do stupid movies?" And we'd go to the video store and we'd rent Van Damme movies and stuff like that. And we would just laugh at how insane the movies were and enjoy the action. But, you know, the plots are a little thin sometimes.
Like rice paper thin.
You know what this movie has on it that modern movies don't, though? Most modern movies? It's not woke.
No, it's not. Not in the least.
Yeah.
Not one tiny morsel, scrap, crumb.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Not a pinch of it. So that's a good thing. So yeah, that was Street Fighter. I've been itching to do that one since forever and ever. I think it's a laugh. If you have an hour and 42 minutes to kill with your friends and you want to laugh your heads off at something really, really stupid that doesn't make any sense, this is that kind of movie. Next Wednesday, the 22nd, the third day of Trump's second term, Matthew Marsden will be here live and
Isn't it?
direct from Dallas, Texas. The Brit himself, not an American
Isn't
citizen.
it?
Matthew will be joining us next Wednesday. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to talk politics, life, fatherhood, marriage, and of course, entertainment because he's a movie star. He's
Right.
a good friend of the show, good friend of Jericho and myself. So enjoy that. Tell your friends. The great Matthew Marsden will be back. And then after that, we'll get to more goofy movies. Jericho, you can pick the next one after Marsden. I picked the first two this year, so I will give you the honor of. Just always know that I love garbage movies because they're very easy.
I'll make it a good one. It'll be better than Street Fighter. How about
Don't
that?
ever give me Bulletproof Monk again. Don't you ever do that to me again.
Hey, we all have our rock bottom,
Yeah,
you know,
so,
and that was definitely our movie rock bottom.
that was a low point in your Double Impact career. Was
Well, for me, it was a high point. I think I delivered because I told you it was
did.
going to be a shit movie. But for you, I think you walked out on it, didn't you?
I couldn't finish it, or
Yeah.
I was reading on my iPad instead of paying attention to it. It was just so brutal.
Yeah,
So,
definitely a low point for you, but I did deliver. You asked me to bring you a shit movie, and boy, did I.
you know what would be fun? To find out the good friends of the show that are experienced actors, Dean and Matthew, find out what movies, and maybe they wouldn't want to say this because they don't want to insult other actors, but what is their guilty pleasure garbage movies? I don't know if I can ask them that because, like, hey, I don't want to make an actor feel bad. It's my colleague, but I would love to know what their No Holds Barred or their Street Fighter is like.
I mean, you know, they're fans of movies too. I'm sure
Of
they have.
course. Yeah.
They have some that are just, oof, bad. And I'd love to
Yeah.
know what they are, especially from them being, you know, on the inside.
Right. Right. Okay, guys, all the links in the description. Please follow Jericho and myself everywhere on social media. You're going to love it. Go to bigmancomics.com. Get on my mailing list to stay up to date. Imperium will be here very soon. The Unstoppable Tyrus is going very well. I finished page 20 today. And then after that, we have Tripoli. And after that, we have the Dean Cain sequel. And of course, we have Jericho Green and the Hammerheads. I'm hoping for a Halloween release for that. That's always been the plan because it's a spooky story. And it's going to be done in a real fun animated style, that one. So we got a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff coming. Hit the like, hit the share, tell your friends about this. Tell all your friends about this.
I think it's tell all your friends about this terrible movie. That would definitely make sense.
And that's a show. We'll talk to you later. Anything, Jericho, or are you done?
No, this movie took it all out of me. I have nothing to say.